CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.
APS Gambia lemu APS Katung APS is 100% Gambian.
Bari nyati mwete kufuri mbala kentala di ke nyati mbondari taba futu wola at least it ya fonte ko APS min kullo balbiji imo fon fonya fon ka fonyo ko ibina do ibodo ko APS jam fane mo fana fonya nyati mbo yo min fo enda sija ndanga moyro ko APS wallet isa ko do kino min tata fa wuli muan ime charge fenna wala enta sindi ja
Ako nyati mbo nko ko kabo transuto kata wala fo wuli muan ite fenne dola womu zero file bitun kabo wo 20,000 la ka sele sal eke charge mun fa abuka fensi 1% na malam mati
wota yara gamen no be nyanta wala kana APS wala tele mobile ko ka ko do ki ibadi ngol
ya jele ni APS kabrin nan credit ko to bari min kum mayata be wala fa mo kas pawat ni suto be during suto be dibiding abe tema biti kol sonda ila APS mobile lo sika ni asika to ya safe da men ko fen ko atondi nawek ha ni oto je nyamen do tachi ama ni ama do abanta ila kas power isa hawasima ajibe free joriti je
oto mbade ngameno albe sito ulle fisiyata alnaleta APS wallet yela la mobile ko APS wallet nyaata doro barin ko do nim fata do so kon to
dañu be fo no le mol ñala jam nim fata do so kon ba fo le
basi ti jembita to register jede kadu sa APS 100% namuti
APS 100%
APS
Gambia 100%.
Looking for the perfect home away from home in the Gambia? Welcome to BC's Residence, your ideal short-stay apartment in the heart of Bundung. Whether you're visiting for business, pleasure, or an extended stay, BC's Residence offers you the comfort, convenience, and privacy you deserve. Enjoy spacious, well-appointed accommodations in a peaceful neighborhood just behind Nusrat High School. Our residence combines modern amenities with authentic Gambian hospitality, ensuring your stay is both comfortable and memorable. At BC's Residence, you are not just booking a room, you're finding your perfect base to explore all that the Gambia has to offer. Ready to book your stay? Contact us today. +220 941414 BC's Residence at gmail.com. BC's Residence, Bundung, behind Nusrat High School. Your comfort is our priority.
assalamu alaikum baringolu ngali konton koreke ngali bismillah ker fatu jang momorondi yalon ko nyen tembe na ibe ker fatu jube kan drong mba fulale la barka baba bake alla di grand bantaba programme wala murtanan koreke mi yalon ko akanale arjuma ninni wato sita drong nyen tembe na mba fula mobe ya barka bake gambia fo gambia bantala men yalon ko ikela wato ta ninni wato sita kabula ker fatu no makanyin programme wala moy mi yalon ko ndo ka jube mi yalon ko a farmansata awaniata bake ay banko beben ay nane wolu salang mba fule ya barka bake men yalon ko wolle fanan ka style kinye mba fule ya barka ka fo fanan altenten ka style ki ninga trebe nyim programme moy ba jube kan nyen tembenna e se sta kino ninga tara fanan e ka jube youtube le isita no je ye subscription on nyim am free of charge lati ite kanina fe friendin na e se subscribe no youtube ninga tara nga fe friendin ke je drong e ba tarra je ba on ko fe dol bondi na youtube channel oto wol buka finti facebook oto jang woto mba fula mobe drong yeta ye subscribe na youtube channel oto programme nyim abe tarra je hani kabi ka fo mobe ya barka bake drong bunda fula wolle nyim programme fasa ye bulodunga koto ka sembentu yandi adaba kono wolemu APS itol keta bundati miya lonko e faramansata baba bake nanata kodi kiola aninka kodota nyim banko kanjang nyontangol le muti ila kuo so teje nakartela kuoto ninga tara fanan ibe sulala ke kodo ki nyi gambia banko kanjang ila bulol memula branch solti e banko tonkon nanu bebenne itata dawoda ibe la bulo taraje andum ibe la kodo sotla anin wato la mialon ko ite batala men mi sewo wartela ko fananto wala mu apole be bulu mialon ko mobe nyanta apo sotla ila telefono kono la wala mu APS wallet nyimu wallet lati mialon ko anatale pour ka mol cool soniandi molma ninga tara ise sino fang suto dutala ila cash power banda ise cash power sanno ila nying APS wallet ya use no ite charge la hani fenna free of charge andum fanan ise credit ko fanan sanno ninga tara ibe deto kono ila credit ko banda ise credit ko sanno using your APS wallet nyul bemu kulati miya lonko APS ya sutale bari manda woto nyimbemba miya lonko anyanta na la January karotil tansaba ning cling memu antu ala programme bati APS inatele ka kolsoni andal ma fanan alse antu la tiketo sanno blato mi alonko wala mu APS waleto nyindi isaje batate fala bundato nyo sabote fala je ibitale drong yela APS waleto use yeta ye well of course ye antula tiketo sanje yeta bengo nyimmabe nyato demanding albela nomba jala screeno nyun dumale mbafla mobe drong ye bori APS adaba kono min yalon ko ye bulodu nying programme ko wole mu care findati nanata korda lola Gambia banko kanjang anin korda wafo nyun tangol le muti ila ko sika mantere ila ko andum fang nyo saba fana mantara ila ko nanata korda wafo la anin korda lori bandi ngola ninga tara kenol fana be bulu elafta pour kalo Gambia banko kanjang karawo karala ni froda care finder ma drong ibe ma ko la andu ibe de mala ete lafta la wicho menna ibalo la waranto wato menna ibalo la wajure sono kono andum ibe la chabo dile la ete tanawtana sotla je ni froda je drong ibe ma ko la woto care finder mba fole ya barka bake ani APS ito lem bunda fuloti men ya lonko ye bulodum nyim programme koto alla di grand bantaba programme lo multale nan koteke mi ya lonko akana arjuma ninni wato sita drong anal badi malen drong nte sidi job nim furata jam nga luntango soto mi ya lonko naka ku jama lekacha adaba kono political bari mboka dam political fanana nga kul kacha men ya lonko abe dending bankola kuola kul men ya lonko ibe kerim banko kanjang bemu kulati men ya lonko nkebe kacha nyato domanding albenna ges jala mi muna luntangoti bar jani wo drong benna panel sol dundlale ini jama nyo konton ni wo botaje drong ngadum programme koto ngadamuta nene welcome another Friday.
Thank you so much, Saidy Job.
And you look good.
Joba Jiba. I know.
I love this color.
Thank you. Thank you. I know I'm beautiful. I'm looking glamorous. But thank you for the compliment. Mbafule mulbi minkan jube assalamu alaikum. Nata jang jumadola. I'm content ak mbekté ñëwaat fi ni benen aljuma ni ma koy waxé man aljuma dafa nek special day pour man yeb because of Grand Bantaba nek bis bo xamné sa yu nek dañuy ñëw tok fi pour waxtana askan bi parce que man lepp lu jëm ci yefi askan bi yefi réew mi yefi nit ñi man daf may saxal te dafa am fierté bu moy def ci man so mota Friday mu nek a very special day pour man di am content ñëw fi so di nuyu ñëpp ñi nga xamné ñoo ñuy sétane Dylan Wahne, welcome again. Sit tight, relax. We have a grand guest. Bubaka Funyami, Atoma Mabo, Banku Dokola, Politikola, you understand? Funding Kelo Kola, Nyimba Kokona. You understand?
Yeah.
Well, I can say what the back Punin Kachabi. Abedula de. Cool bekela jang. Abedula back. Sit tight and relax. Right be mol be kontona ite fam bambe kontona ika doku kendo minke last week nga show jele nga comment sol jele moli en kumandi ika appreciate yena san ye show moderate nyame nkay ko jannem kër fatuti jannem kër fatuti bokul façon no lay ko fi la mburu mi ni xoyom mi fi lu fi ñew baax lu baaxutoon sa bu fi duggee baax fii lu fi waay def dafay baax lu fi waay jàllale day egga ku bëgg mu fes fii ngay ñëw kon fii mooy kër Fatou mbe bàyyi fa nang konton na ate dung aman na he's been MIA for weeks but kontanta bi anata pour nga ben kotenke nga kuwol ke andung be Dr. Ablay Bojang fa nang konton na pour ala najang yunasan ate la kafo nyim gram Bantaba aya samba to another level nka fo nyamen dorong Gambia tonkon nano be ite tala platform dula ye doctoro joji abe platform moto ak soto ta janne a follow ta jang ni momo yake yen tolle copy andong it's okay we'll lead others follow whatever we do people will copy which means we're doing the right thing. So you know what, happy and waiting for us to get into the program so that I can tackle our guests.
Thank you so much. Bayo?
Yeah.
Bismillah.
Yes,
so tiba kele bi.
Alors, kyo gor so
Go, smile bi ba.
No, gaman
fum ko gor. So nekan jol. Da nga wara sanse. Di mola man da mola.
So neke gor.
Gor so neke gor.
Gor so neke
Gor so
gor.
ngam jol.
Jol.
Am jol.
Sign to kesu dum.
I was struggling to understand lan la neke di la. See the yetas.
Kesu dum. No, abla ida fi
naka nga waxee ne ganaar baaxut waaye nen bi baax na
ko resate be ne ko alkalo dara ji
no betel la ko kesu
betel la
ani bayo jang kesu dum jang
itilam
jang
abla ma kesu dum
mo frère sir ñam ko
abla
an la jes mu kesu dum
sa no sidi betel
la tañ
sa bel la abla man tare la yeah. So guys, it's been a while actually. It's been weeks, you know. I did not come, you know, been busy in Komalialo and Yamen. Some of Bandula, I mean, Doku Lado, busy here, and some of them Bandula, you know, political for the Mamma for the Kilindi. So I think I've been absent in the platform here, but Buffalo can things where I've been going fine, alhamdulillah. Then CD, you know, also coming as the new moderator, Buffalo, welcome. Bantaba is not an easy show, but at the end of it, sometimes people will press you, sometimes people will come on you, but menkumata you need to call the consistency, menkumata you the honesty, because at the end of the day, we are not just here to make people happy, but we are here to make sure we deliver, you know, deliver more. You understand? So, I mean, I say congratulations for being for coming up. Be na ko finalization content na nene me alonko. She's been trying, you know, in the platform here as a moderator. You understand, for the past, and you know, for the past. So we say thank her for all the service I make in the program. Abdullah, you understand? I mean, Bojamba. So, you know, it's been a while though, and you guys have been trying in the platform, and I know, you know, sometimes we do have some other difficulties, misunderstanding and the like, but it's all part of life, you know. At the end of it, all of us purify our intention. We are not here just to show, but we are here to deliver. And, you know, now my friend MC is not here today, Talibo. I know he's not been strong, you know, for a while. Bakunto nambe duala almala so sifala. Ala so jara kende ala. Wo jara kende ala wolon ko beti. Be duala babake. and the platform for be done now is dua ke baba kai ala sa bambandi ay murnan jang na ka fu nyokan jang nga do mera do ko mel na fo sanji saba do ko nyi na certain thing so ko nyina election reality nyina sango nyum platform do la sidi inara watila inara wadi kolombala sai wadi kolo fajan kanaki yeah but anyway overall I say thank you to you all na geso defem volate ba yala de nice experience our guest is not just today, you know, it's been a very close friend of mine, you know, from the beginning of the struggle. So to have him in the platform here, alhamdulillah, you can have some disagreement with him, but he's somebody me alonko nimfondinke wala consider. You know, I always feel happy because it's been there for the youth for so long. Okay. So Alabarka, thank you so much.
Ablay, bismillah.
All right, thank you. You know,
yes, Dr. Ablay. Yes, Dr. Title on you Ablay Bula saying.
I'm not joking with it.
We have to get to
I am not taking it lightly.
Dr. Title.
Why you're talking? See the you're talking.
Definitely.
You know, be duala bankoye, be duala leaders only, be down Jumoto, Jojo, political, even football coaches. You know, everybody. You know, alama ale be makoy, you know, lafta ka nyimba ko samba da men tol mu nga samba je kay ko kono ten ko kono ani nyaato ta be mo kontona mel kan jibe, you know, be ke fatu kontona everybody here, and I think it's important that we say some of the things. These are sometimes insider, you know, insights. You know, I don't go to most platforms. I only go to basically 2 platforms, of course, from time to time. But the treatment, Akamendi, is second to none. When it comes to, in need of the Tila coffee, you have it.
You know,
So,
I have a very good wife here. Sidi even kero ko Sidi kana kero ko masini tema kasamu na musolo ko do la musolo famolo atle tu de ko kano
bismillah
Sidi amne be
nene ki mu matray tay
betel
depuis bu ñëwé mu matray
yes mpare de
yes so ara manke musu
gis na lolu
musu quote ni ke ku or so whatever my man ninga pardon me they treat everybody nice and you know so I think we are appealing to the public and everybody that, including the government, to support such media houses. You see, ning mo haramade yata, amoyata, nyanda ka fala, before we fala. You know, ndol what we are saying, especially in there, I don't know, we don't even engage as in talk. No, that is not even between us. But the experience you get, it's important that you tell people. We cannot be praising people all the time outside when beneath us we have seen gold, and we don't want to say that will be unfair, you know. And I think the level of independence and whatever that we also enjoy here is great. Nobody tells you what you say and what you don't say, and we have a coffee and other matter above all you are respected. You're given the accord. So I think government and everybody should support. Business people should support. Because at a multi-family employer, imagine if she had the support, she could have even turned this place to a bigger thing and absorb some more people who are not employed. So this is what we need, and today my greeting is for that.
Thank you so much.
And that is it. Yes.
Abaraka bake wolam ablayti bari ngolu wolamu panelist oli be ya content draw kele ko ngafu nyamen drum alla di grand bantaba programme wolemu binu nga luntango soto me alonko amari to man nukum politiko kono surtout nanata funding ke wala karola nyimbanko kanjang ala tariko man nuko nyimbanko kanjang nato fra do wona don camera do kan alba jalale albalo nale makamam babulu nalun taw menti drum wala mu of course Lamin ke Saidy atelemu presidential advisor ti funding ke wala karola presidential youth advisor atelemu motimi alonko aka president yamari funding ke wala karola bi atele munna lontan ti jang nabe ku jamale kacala bawo ku jamale fanan keta lokun dantan komanto adaba kono nyin carte fawal men yalon ko itambira dulato mi alon ko wolem kiam anin julati mi alon wolem bantanjanti foni tundo kam ñu demu dalati min yalon ko kate fayo ketaje andum National People's Party memo NPPT inata gagné basoto je ñun la fulol beto ñun mo kulati mi alon ko mbe kacala jane bari fanan ninna dum tawbe kudul fanan kacala le mi alon ko abe dendim fondinke wala karolla nanata bankola nyato tala de fen fenen dinkela foka dundi ani jama ño kontom Mr. Saidy bismillah, welcome back again to Grand Bantaba.
Abaraka bake studio akara ñu kontaan to bi kana ma be jang lim programme auto programme mi yano ko commandé afa ñami doro akara programme mi yano ko ay lemor la jamal soto
Pues.
nga contandro ke follow Dr. Bojana ka congratulate also for that achievement ala career kono bayring karango ko mayata bake hadama de wala bolwo kono lake makoy nole pour yi la ay la miro fanundi ay la jirol ay wolbe assez fanundi ake de mano fanam pour yemolol makoy no kono je wotomba duwala fo ala sa baroko kala londoto mi yalan ko wala kaframa sa banko nafa mbo bayo konta na bake ngal ko biata la siya janga mantra diari mbake loko ni ala weekend o mandiano so ma fala ngafu ñomal nak ndoko ñolo
So what do you mean by de la galo comandia? Yalo programme start where you start casting. No, elamo rek bari ibon konton lay ibon fenkela.
Okay, nena faya.
Afu sorry.
Nena faya ko boy.
Afu no so sorry la ko momi bu akaboy momi mo ma fa sorry. Afu sorry.
Kila ako yen ako boy.
Anya lafta ako sorry. Not akaboy.
Ako aso ave sorry.
Aha, okay.
So ba konton na bake bayri nga kana si programme to biya lonko joteje hani ara fango hani aral no fango jobanu je be nga lonko pour kana si television o nyaato wala radio to amanke fende mi yalon ka diara wala namba mobe o konton ro bake la mobe surtout ma technicien on mi yalon ko bako ka make sure dan ko mol sula tan minna yo dila mba fala monsieur Diop mba fala defona congratulations for taking over the seat. Because to nyaato nyam moy buba remplacer e mari fanam jata bala be kala jata bala wala kala jata so pour ga hani mom yalon kay programme min darina fo sanji jama yana si o mari la si ranto je oro ba duwale fanam fo ala sa so ne ndim pour ga programme ni modet kan to nyale ya fo nyami do be yaka du so bajara moderator mo be ka defend on de moderator ni naka pour ga jiwe ka programme ni comporte bare ngaje programme tan tangol min tamira ngaje katakul minke pour ka make sure na programme ni ay lo so ni ndongo malo fo bato fo la fo ngana do
Ay commencé ñaari ni ndongo. Anyway, on walde mboka bewo bari to hari sai bangu do ko na fe ina tan ka sonka sai haji do e bula ko do nga lon ko etala nyanda ko so la telephone sikata e call e kuma da fe ko mi call wonno la ngi call ni ndongal nga wo solve wo ita wo kam yete no wala nyandi ko ndel damal mi ba do ko wala banko kan anu ala naraki fana mantra political party killing you know na jeriñal banko la sambo ko nyindo photo soto taje bar hane bimbe ka hañe no la nga siño kan nga kacha you know alla mirol fatata nyaaw nyande bar hane sa hañe no nga si nga kacha an wo be min ko taje wala kon na kunun tambita no nyamin wala nyindo ko surwal kam fo si yar ak tegen tambirani wala na hade modi yakon daga fu mo le baka ko mayata baka pour few fende e baka le sa wo fundamental principle kulu woni fama jeni mbunya ni ata mini ko sama hani ni mo dun alman alenyo kanna wali so sama al kasino wala ko ta kata wodo mba fala le ko akata ko kontano to baka pour kana ma be jambi na le kata banko la ko.
Thank you so much. Wala mu Lamin ke sereti atele mu presidential youth advisory atele mu president wala yamar lati nana ta funding ke wala karola bi atele mu na lunta wonte mi alon ko ngasoro di Grand Bantaba programme to jang ko ngafo nyameng lokun koman lokun dandan koman sa fo lokun tambilala ku jamal leketa banko kanjam bari mba dat la damen tron wala mu carte faw mi alon ko akum fata lato mi alon wala mu kiang aning bantanjang sato konoti lato mi alon ko National People's Party mu NPPT inata gagné basoto je ye siram fulolu be gagné ye celebration ke banko kan lato taring keta kuti mi alon ko fitina mon soto kele manke o mu kuti mialon ko mba ko fanan kacala janne woto nte fon ferendin kala drone foka dum discussion kono right away nene gis nañ ne last week NPP they have killed two birds with one stone and which is very difficult lo xamne dafa jafe torop guy gagné nañ fii Kiang Ward by election ak Bantanjang. What is your reaction si election bu passé ni?
Again, dama njëkkee rek di wax NPP bi nga xam ne ñoo win di leen ndokkale ci win boobu noonu parce que ku jongante ku nekka gagné nga bugga num néew gagné nga bugga te su nekkee ne def nañ li ñu war a def ba ñu ne ñoom ñoo gagné officially kon war na pour ndokkeel leen di wax tamit ñi nga xam ne ñoo doon jongante ak ñoom te gagné wuñ ne leen ne buñ ko jàppee ne is a loss, right? Parce que why a lesson because loo def rek da nga war a toog nga seetaat sa mbir seet lan nga def lu baax nga yokk ko nga sukkandeku ci li nga xam ne def nga ko ba tax na li nga bëggoon amuloo ko nga gis ne loolu di nga ci bàyyi xel nga bàyyi ko so moo tax ma ne buñ ko gisee ne it's a loss but a lesson because election nekkul ne one of la in a lifetime la loo xam ne lañ koy am di ko amaat comme by election lu kenn di plan xëy na gàllankoor moo dee am ba tax ñuy call for by election so mun naa amaat in the next month or in 2 months time so li nga xam ne def nañ ko te indul leen yokkute ku ci nekk nga bàyyi ci xel ñu win it mii di NPP ñoom tamit buñ ko jël for granted because dénkaane la yaakaar la pour nga ut nit jox la waaye suñ delloo suñ xel gannaaw ni ma ko waxee woon rek fii in election bi amoon in Masembe right and then again foofu it was still NPP UDP mu nekk a hard fought election because ku nekk bëggoon na ko am waaye boo gisee ne it used to be a UDP seat and then ñoom ñu retain ko waaye li ma fi waxoon mooy ne margin bi dafa ndawoon because toogu boobu moom nga am keneen koo xam ne musu faa bokk mu ñëw xeexa yow ba am that margin boobu noonu pour man dama fiiloon ne luñ waroon a bàyyi xel la parce que xëy na am na lu tuuti lu NPP mënoon a def ñu win seat boobu noonu so moo tax bi ñoo analyse loolu fii nii man dama ne woon sooy analyse bu baax a baax a baax di nga ndokkeel NPP ngir liggéey biñ def ba egga fi gaay egga noonu ba nga xam ne margin boobu noonu understand nga am na loo doon mën a def rek nga close ko so man loolu mooy woon suma gis-gis foofu noonu and the same thing repeat na in Kiankayaf okay NPP seat la right and then UDP ñëw ne ñoom tam ñu contest waaye soo xoolee margin bi tamit understand nga di nga gis ni am na lu tuuti lu UDP mënoon a def gën a try rek mënoon ne ñoo close gap bi win seat bi so always this idea of suñ seat la maa ko moom and then you become complacent right try loo bu baax keneen mun naa ñëw ba foxati ko sa loxo so moo tax bàyyi xel woo dafa dee baax ñun na Gambie fii li ñu def mooy dañoo campagne suñ wiinee rek ku nekk dem toppatoo sa soxla duñ dee def post election analysis pour xool li nga xam ne mënoon nañ koo gën a yokk mënoon nañ koo def ñun duñ dee am loolu koo fi laajoon report of past elections li xew let's say from presidential election possibly duñ la ko mën a génneel suñ la ko génnee sa dafaa nekk a scrappy thing la moo nekk waaye lu important la war nañ di ko def parce que data dafa important daf dee dimbale ku nekk so di ko ngay I mean in the Bantanjang one bi tamit gis naa ne it's a very close up again the belief comme li maa wax rek it's a stronghold it's a fixed deposit it's a no-go area so xoolee election sii nii onasanga am na lum laa wan ne loolu noonu that mentality perception mu ngi erode parce que nit ñaa ngi def liggéey pour mun a break into a place foo xam ne for the longest ñu ngi ko make as if ne ñii ñoo ko moom kenn waru faa dem o keneen munu koo am because Fonyi for the longest time it's like okay Fonyi is for Fonyikas any other party apart from the APRC mënuñoo break in foofu noonu waaye gis nañ ne okay NPP ñëw nañ fa waaye again tamit factors we have to be realistic NPP ñu ngi am an alliance with APRC. Even though there is a fraction that no to alliance under Fabakary Tombong Jatta, because everybody says I'm APRC and APRC. So to differentiate them, they got on no to alliance with ak Fabakary Tombong Jatta, right? So for the purpose of clarity, right? Waaye da nga gis ne ñaar ñooñu am na. So ku ci nekk am nga sa sax foofu noonu ku ci nekk am na loo fa mun a de so di nga gis ne ñooñu tamit ñëw ne ñu def liggéey boobu noonu ba mun a win seat bi regardless of the margin, regardless of the difference, a win is a win, a simple majority. Even su nekkee ne point 2 la sax jox na la win bi. So dama dee gis sometimes tamit dañ dee trivialize the difference, you know what I mean, but the bottom line is borom try na ba ñu mun koo declare a win, it's a win. So now don't preach me on data, the difference, the lii la winning, win na ñu accept ko. Waaye man pour man it's lesson for everybody to learn from, you know what I mean. And then again ni nga ko waxee rek def nañ ko ci jaama dëgg la jongante nañ waaye at the end of the day civility prevail. Kii win declare nañ ko kii winut accept na mu acknowledge, and then we move on looking forward to another election. But I want to tell people this thing that the ruling party is saying, it's naka lañ ko doxatee fàtte naa what bi gars yi di use sax vote of confidence. Confidence from who? From who? Like seriously, you all better take a chill pill. Confidence on what?
Thank you.
I'm still asking that question. Vote of confidence on what?
Thank you, Nene. Bayo, muna reaction di carte fo men kumfata. NPP ye siram fula be gagné wate kilingola lung kilingola. Kiang aning bantanjang what? Muna reaction odi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ablai. Thanks to the viewers, thanks to everyone. Balatin dula, masaba masakalanke, masome alonko atele msamba, atele faro ke, atele marra kubela. Nyimbaile sunu me alonko aketa nyindula fulul beto, aketa alala daro loko kan. Ya jibe bantanjang. Ila kansulo nyim bantale nyajibe kiyam fana ila kansulo nyim bantale so kansulo fulul be douala alma ala ila kabru sumayandi ala so jannatul firdaus la mol mil yalon ko wolle la palaso taten be douala alma ala palaso nyim sonon sumaya wol fana yake multi mil yalon ko ila mol la jiko men sote yako jiko nyim ma falati but so far the election went well. It was not an easy election. Easy election. For example, if you look at Kian Kayaf, Kayaf ward, MPP la them, but until we want to take it, because the reality is, Janning MPP la candidate mina when we get into 2018, Dolala candidate over here. So basically, 2023 election only, MPP sira ta from UDP la bulu. So UDP also want to take the seat on him back. That was the reason why we contested again, and it was not an easy election. Likewise in Bantanjang. Bantanjang found the same thing. It was between NPP and Noto Alliance. And so, but one must also understand this go. Noto Alliance, like Nene Afonyaming, you know, it only APRC living in Yokono up to around 2020. Play different tema. Doltata President Kang, Doltata Noto Alliance. But with all that, 2023 local government election, Noto Alliance will win. Okay, so kabin bango kata by election kata sign NPP kata falang NPP ata with their alliance people. Number NPP for all the time we have to say NPP party say NPP. Wo falang is very important. We moli wo falang understand. Party say wala kafta nyumba be NPP. That party say woni wo lending UDP ning Noto Alliance at some point, because UDP endorsed Noto Alliance, the candidate there at some point, not official, but we actually seen, even myself, we've been at the campaign to make sure we support them, we give them the weight. And there's a lot of history behind that. One, the candidate member is a candidate we have a very close relationship with the UDP members in that area. In fact, the last 2023 election, Mole me alon kwa ni do ko Kebanying is a very humble man. Arba sometimes I always feel so sad. And I know how it suffers in the council as an advisor. So that relationship is there. So campaign alhamdulillah, APM, Miliata, North Alliance, NPP, APRC, Alliance, and their Alliance members will lay from North Alliance Bulu. But I just want to come back. That is going to be Kiang, because that's where the party union lot of Damento.
Okay.
Kiang on the election although there was no physical confrontation, but there was a lot of in a decent democracy, ma will expect will manya killer. And then NPP should grow to that level. Let's say, if for example you believe UDP have a base, because UDP have a base, but UDP low base at Lokadaji, in fact, we people were even based in UDP low base. I'll be based in J, I'll confrontation sort of, I'll attack J, in fact, at CAF, we were in the same compound. The NPP didn't lodge in the same compound in CAF. The legislative betting, the other tank, betting in the same compound. The lega findu kang na kacha na kobe campaign na findu na campaign. There was no form of confrontation na Maltema. So it was a surprise that the last day of the campaign, Kadun Tata Medina, where it will learn from the council of Lamento. In fact, we were doing a caravan from Sara Samba, so we need to have at least around 30 to 1 hour in Medina. So Nabona Sara Samba, Medina to Natara, the assembled boys. And we basically assembled the diamond. When we are going, the MPP la Mototara low in jail. When people are Motoka station jail, all throughout the campaign, because the candidate is from that end. Did I understand? So another basically fundita, another silokang. You understand? With the guy, the candidate in the t-shirt. You understand? With stuffs. Hello, silokang. We all seen the video. To start Kamol Bo at some point, like they were like, we're not going to have meeting in Medina. When already it will MPP, it will allow candidate, another MPP interest, it will cover Lamin until the best, it will go out already. Imagine nim fitno create and come into get a fitna multi. What is going to happen in that place? When they see Medina has their base, they're going to kill out. So, but you see, alhamdulillah, the likes of Alaji, Alaji Esdab, is a very matured person. Yes, and landing the chairman of the place, all the elders, we make sure Namfang comport na Ale Fonsaje play as a music. Play Jay and everybody start dancing. So we just to put the tension down. You understand? So we start engaging them. They engage Murundi. And we told them we are going to stay. I mean, between the time when I see time because we should not go to the other place in the time when see if you go there, I see the rules break. So we have to either stay there or maybe go back to the other place. Even if you have to go back also to buy time, also IEC you are still defaulted. So we must stay there, contact IEC to come and witness what is happening there. So the IEC contact IEC now and they witness what was happening there. The videos are all there. So my advice maybe like NPP or all in to go in so avoid in the future because the election bala wali. It's a fitno avoid the Maltema because fitno feeling along among better than Maltema. So we have that trouble in that place in Medina, right? That are Jolofen, Muran Jolofen. Instead of on the Murna, because still just because the Kayafle. Kayafle from Kayaf we go to Jenier. So instead of the Mursilona, we also decide also no the Murna no Silo from Kotanki because we don't want to have any issue with them. No problem. So we have to use another route. Then I'll go jump for telephone to go back to Kayaf, Kabukayaf, Katab, Jenier, Kabitun Kaja. All this left a Cairo is Sabbath. You see how peaceful we were in this campaign. So, election winning, alhamdulillah, another surprise, or another thing NPP should avoid it. And Ninko democracy, left away somebody, democracy goes with a lot of things. You must respect the rule of law. And the rule of law, when more ding, it do ko diamond may govern the rules, may govern, ya make sure you do ko rules all. The governor, the police head, the head of the police, the head of the immigration, they were going in. They were going into the alcalos. Imagine that border area, those places are border villages. More matter with Blado, near Jamal Gibi, they don't have Gambian documents. But he said it again because in Aji Alcalo, you understand? So we don't know at look at Alcalo. And they went, when they came, they were not going to honors, they were going to the alcalos. The Alcalo, it can for Alcalo, you understand? Ndeta follow ko let's say ndeta where am way. But the investigation of now it can make Alcalo take threatening because already the sample is set at Bantanjam. Because they are Bantanjam Alcalo, you Bantanjam Alcalo bondile. You understand what I for what reason? Because I not alliance Legia. Sign. Imagine, okay. So now Purikana Kumo Bamban Kafako, yes. You meant for your because I'm not going to Kafako, Namage, Nayajele, Belomale, Alcalo, that is completely clear. Governor will never deny that one. But Niamanta seeing diamond, you come up for Buffalo, Yafonjel. So you use it as allegedly. But now, Kawakumo Bamban Kotanke.
Okay.
We went back because I remember the way we go now. We cannot give them space. Right? But if you look at our Saturday, pick up Saba. You see me on the video. Pick up Saba. They've been going around Saturday in a more Kadum. So we are also following Kajako Otekela. Right? So Alcalo Fintina, Saturday Naraji, Alcalo Savintina. As an Alcalo Kaldanika Kumo. These are clear things. Alcalo Kumbo, Alcalo Kanaka Mandroke, Billahi will like among the political at the general. Alcalo Kanaka, Alcalo Fona Pinsado Kono. Because Jonathan, Sarah Samba is a place, Maya Longo. I mean, like the Sato is kind of divided, but we have narration to the market. So la bosol be fonkola they were doing be fonkola tabirola na base fele la cook MPP fele kikino se la mole kikino ya kikino se la mole you understand so depend so Alcalo he end up have to call police nada we should enter but I have to give thanks to the police officers men nata they play very much because kabiri nata Alcalo command inata they went in a really part, you move Taraji, Mamuharas, Montevo, they went to the Alcalo May command. It had Alcalo Mumfoy, different for an but when they went to Alcalo, because Alcalo commanding Yal, Alcalo, Renate Blotti, Motocono, Itata. So that was in the moment in Nulaje, Itata Winama, your movie Bulaja, and you were all there. Alcalo Muran, I moved down Kaiko, until Montajan Fitna, Montajan campaign, Montajan Fena. Many people go nada. With the trip pick up also. In a regular made new noma, made new a made new table blind. I don't know why made new some coconut made the table blind and even Muslim base of Borkanje. But they want to go with made new also a coconut made new as well. So the truth they did this sign in made new time at a similar. So Muro the Suloka Motor be that side at a made new Amafola, a lampo maranto canang, to Belor in Damento. So they to confirm control we are all the Belorin. So the number new tada. Damante ayo gunto namul low mafon namul believe in Jamafan. The Carita was going to go no. Why will be a camera lampo mulkanya when it already they are inside. So go Galecono, we have to go. Never I don't know what they are doing there. So Kabi Alcon Canando, you military your contact. So Galif into another. Yes, and so MPP was doing a lot of things there. But another thing also, MPP and Menke, was not concentrating on the level of that border area. So MPP was already inside Kayaf. So then we feel like Kayaf is kind of okay. So MPP was inside Kayaf. Kadil Mulkang, Kavodas Kato Sang, Kakulke. But to give you a proof of that, musumo afole, musumo adi fongo there, musumo afole, go kadu mol kan kayaf je, kela voters card also. But if I want to drive, my own driver, me along go can memory use kanje. Yes, and I mean, never go can not drop around 5 o'clock. Ako yen nada. Ako yen ninken no benta because around 5 o'clock kana ako ninken no benta. Irak moment. Nada dungo 5 o'clock so manda. Como sa already in ya the day da samu da la. Ako yen kadinta boda to drop kan jara soma. Jara. Ako yen nada. Ako yen ninken no naken no tara boy sol ya. Ako boy sol confuse kan porque la voters card o sang. I voters card o bona kan boy sol already may na do san. The candidate is not from here. Can you remember Mbuja and Alenti Kimira Falang as an CFO Borajan? As an Janimi Ignasi Fiabon La Jang in Al Kalo Baila. So those are the words they were using.
Okay.
To confuse people. So see, all these things happen in this election.
Okay.
And when you call it Medialongo, we might win the Kela election or Kono. But to conclude, at the end of the election or Kettle, no man Kele, there's a monkey, there was no physical fight. Kabrin Benteje, a total winter, you understand? And there I wrote. In fact, among the secretary of all, I call official soul. I call officials. May I don't go down and have that rapport with them. They call, they congratulate. Kayoko Ali Winter. Because that is what is expected from me. And I did that one. So, but to tell you, UDP in that place, J is still our base. J is still our area. If you do a total tally, near total tally KJ, the Kofongo ala deputy Banco bin to lemu je deputy. Deputy ben to lemu je. Councilor yakil ne ben bulu, councilor yakil mbe bulu, councilor yakil ni murti bulu. Game presidential, that the same Fongo consequence in to lay win. Total vote. The legend win.
All right.
One thing, me along, it also gives me hope. Kajoko, until we are going to make it. When you go, until you vote among G from the last election, the last council election, one drop on votes. But in fact, we were able to make sure MPP margin on the last council election, we put up a difference of 100. It was about 341 something. Now at least it drops about 200 and something. Now we actually achieve in that place. Again, let me tell you, because until we do more of house to house, especially in Kayaf and Jenyer, and they will tell you, they will talk about the candidate, to tell you the truth. But the carton biloko, and people call for Libe Clean ala tema, Bafole, Blood, the Cafo, Alman Tankala, and Nakafo, the NPP ola. WDP sample in the career of an umpire, UDP candidate with me. So you understand, there was something also, there was a problem between the community, the base community and the candidate. That is also Mealong Abeje. So these are all things Mealong. We did our post-mortem, and post-mortem now, what are some of the problems we have there, and we are ready to solve those problems. But to conclude, lesson learned.
All right.
Lesson learned from the last election, Alhamdulillah, and we are ready to improve, and inshallah, we are going to improve. But the politics of intimidation, we need to think of the past lady, and MPP should do their utmost best and refrain from that.
Thank you
that
so much.
That is all what I have.
Ablay, the ruling party, Memu National People's Party, a Ganyo Sotole, Ninkate for Mialonko, Letambit, Lafler to Mialonko, opposition of Bombantaji, Baba, Munimula reaction by election for Tamil.
All right, thanks. The congratulate NPP Anila Molbe, Alama Palaso Wati, Alama Mel Ganyeta. Mole jiko men soto talk about dogu, especially la area ji alama ala yo soniendi because ni wo keda fana agame bele mako do mantaje, but we have been in touch with people that were on the grassroots there. Yes, I can confirm that there was intimidation. There was a lot of electoral malpractice. It may not be all that significant to the extent that you will nullify the results, it's a game. Politics is a game, so it cannot be all the time clean, as in, you know. But yes, it's all confirmed. But we have very good sources around there that told us a lot. And I think Almama has said he maybe do run away and stuff like that. You know, those
He met with who?
Luzano. You know, they can do anything. To secure, they can do anything. For them, they are ready to do that. So, but I think it's a clear message for the opposition, and that's where I want to come in, you know. We have seen unity is strength. In Barrow's deliberation, he said 8. So actually, NPP has never won election as a party alone. They have never won any election as a party alone. So they are getting a more done because they are coming together. And that is what we should learn as opposition. If MPP that is ruling has the advantage of incumbency and so on, is still willing to get more people, it means the opposition also should try to come together. You know, otherwise, this would confirm vote of confidence. Vote of confidence, not as in people really have confidence in them. But sometimes people are afraid of change because of they are used to familiarity. You are familiar with this, you are certain with this, so you don't know what is coming next. So it's better you go in for that which you understand. So it may not necessarily be confidence. So we also congratulate UDP for keeping the democracy going healthy in the Gambia. You know, imagine if they were not there and it's like nobody is contesting. What would that do to our democracy? It will not strengthen it. Until now, democracy, you know, Markwela. So the UDP tend to Lawakan, they congratulate for taking this role. As always, I always say, you hate them, like them. When it comes to politics, this country wouldn't have any real significant politics without them. They challenge things at the law courts. In fact, what they do is great. Because you may be a magistrate or a judge. For 10 years of practice, you have never sat over a petition regarding election. You will give you that chance. And that helps the other generation of magistrate, legal practitioners who will come to draw some precedent and some, you know, so they're doing a lot. You know, so, you know, they're doing a lot, and we congratulate them for that. And the bottom of
the petition was the Supreme Court, not the Magistrate Court.
No, I'm just giving an example.
Oh, example,
yes.
Yeah. Because the revising court, nobody petitioned during the revising court time.
No, even at the Supreme Court, I mean, jurisdiction is jurisdiction, you understand? And normally courts, you know, court rulings, you understand, from the higher court or the lower courts take
they can draw inspiration and what were small things that the judge or the panel looked at before they arrive at a judgment. So that is really good, you know, it's good for our democracy and so on. And they have been doing that. That is just not now. They have been challenging a lot of things, and that is how it's supposed to be. So we congratulate them for keeping the politics alive and, you know, democracy and stuff like that. You know, yes. So, but when it comes to this election, I think the NPP had a better chance of winning from the get-go. The No to Alliance is not in order. UDP is not in order. Yeah, you may dispute it, but they are not in order. You have some resignation, some fracas, and some breakaway, you know. So all those things affect the party as a whole. You may not like it, but that is part of it. Look at the No to Alliance. Like Almame Giba, Honorable Giba will say that Padembo and I. And the next person you would name probably would be Tumani. Now imagine if you had Bakari on the ground, you have Ami on the ground. They were going to perhaps not only see Busano, because they will have more eyes. So you take that angle, somebody from that angle. So that all tells you one thing. Kakafunyokan is important. The interim party leader, Yaya Tamba, left the party. He has gone with pockets of supporters as well. And naturally, those people wouldn't basically campaign for North Alliance to win. So realize that this is what exactly can you mean for. You go to have MPs and you start firing them. You as a party, you are relevant because you have National Assembly members. Now, if you have them and small thing, fire, small thing, fire, this is what is going to happen. So instead of them going to put support and fight, it's going to be Almame and Padembo and maybe Tumanding alone. And they cannot control NPP. You cannot control them. So if you want to control NPP, you be ready to have the numbers, the mobility, the money, the eyes everywhere. Because for them, they are set to that target. So they don't mind what happens, they're going to do it. But if you have, let's say, 2 people trying to monitor 100 people, how can that be effective?
They ought to be unified.
Yeah, so
to fight.
Yes. Honestly, we have to. You cannot fight against 10 people when you are 1. It's difficult. So you have to take cover. So the political opposition parties should take cover. Taking cover means here we should come together. New election is where it ended. We should come together. If you come together, it will be difficult for President Baba to win again. But if we don't, I'm sorry, we will continue to complain like we are complaining, and even more. So you need to begin. So phony, I talk more phony, become from phony. I know the dynamics more there. You know, the APRC No to Alliance space is going to shrink if it continues this way. Hope is important. Hope, very important in life. Why sometimes we praise? Because we hope that we have another life coming. And then maybe there is punishment, so if you don't pray. It's not out of goodwill. No, it's not out of goodwill sometimes. So now, if we are telling people, Jamme Kanale, almost 10 years, that is not happening. How do you go back to those people and convince them to support a candidate when all the time what you are telling them, they are not seeing it? And the same party is disintegrating. Today, Bakari gone. Next day, Ami gone. The other time, somebody. Power Dumbo and stuff like that. And these are the very people who were campaigning and saying certain things. And those same people are leaving what they told you. And within Foyi, look at the role of independence. That also affected them. Mm-hmm. I have said this time and time again. That's why I disagree most times with them. Even some of them believe that I'm not no to alliance. As in, because the way I see things. But the point is this. Next election, if you have 2-3 independents from Foyi, they are not going to be, they are not coming from Badibu or Kian, from Foyi. They have family members. They have uncles. I'm going to look for National Assembly seat, 10 people or 5 people independent. And you have independent backed by No to Alliance. You think the votes No to Alliance will increase? No. It will still go down. So it's like all of you are taken from the same base. That's what happened to GDC. GDC base is MPP base. That's why when Bago came into GDC a lot. Because they are all sourcing from the same stream. So if No to Alliance don't put their house in order or APRC comes together, next election, I'm afraid you cannot even have 5 National Assembly members from No to Alliance. The point is, you have a lot of independents coming.
No, right now they don't have 5. They have 3.
Let's maintain they have. Now let's give them. We have. We have. These are people that left
they have 5 because you cannot say they don't have 5 when those 5 were voted into office by them.
Yes. So you see, before, in fact, the end of the 5 years, you have 2 already gone. Even though they have the seat and everything. So what would happen next? And that is why APRC should look at this as a lesson.
To be honest, having to say they have the seat, they are there is a farce. Yes, they contested under that seat. They won under that seat, served for a little bit, but now their allegiance is somewhere else. Anybody that supports them, I'm sure their father, their husband, let's say for example, the father, the mother, the sister, the brother, the uncle, the auntie, the person that she supports, they're all going to support where she supports. Yeah. So why would anybody fool themselves and say, oh no, they are there, they have the seat, when they don't give you any support?
So that's the argument. Yeah.
They won and served for a little bit, but right now their advocacy is somewhere else. So they are not with the No to Alliance. They're not adding anything for them.
Emphasizing on this is for the executive of No to Alliance and other strategists within to look at themselves quickly. You may not be able to have 5 parliamentary seats again. One, the exposure in Asiatale, Molbe Kachakane, Molbe Nyokunindikane. They are leaving. And we are all going from the same source. You have powerful executive members like Tamba and others. Right? They don't have all the charisma and everything, but they have connection here and there, and they will take all those people and go. And don't be surprised that the Atamba joins NPP when it comes to presidential election. And that means it's going to take some more. And yes, don't be surprised. Come on. I'm serving in APRC, I'm no more there, and I see where I can go. I'm going to go. You see, these are people I told all of you will leave No to Alliance and leave me there. Because when I was contesting, they thought I was sponsored by NPP. That's what they told people. That's what they campaign. They go to people. But I told them clearly, those are you been for me after Tonya and Bebula APIs. My other Fanalam Bebula APIs. And all of them that we are spearheading it, they have issues. They are fired or they leave. You know what they were saying is not true. But those people would go because the reason why they are there, in also they are going to go. And that is why it's critical for us to regroup and then see how we go forward. In terms of Fonyi, the strong base that assumption is going to go, is eroding. Because the point is the younger voter population is going to kind of increase. And those people are more sober, more aware. They may not look into legacy or it was James part. No, they may look into what is possible for the future, not what has happened behind, all right, in the past. So, we could give from this election. You cannot go to election and expect to win, especially against a party like NPP and its alliance when you are divided. You cannot win it.
Thank you so much.
So imagine, Jamme for Bantaba. You talk about people did not vote or the NPP gave money. Yes, all those things are there. But I can tell you for a fact, man, you went in divided. You cannot be victorious. As far as Fonyi is concerned now.
Yeah, but one thing I just want to add on to what you were trying to say here, because you keep saying divided. I mean, as a UDP, I don't think when the word divide, we never, we are always there for the people. So when we're talking about divide, I think we enter directly to people who are moving. Okay, like Nico, let's say Tambanyolu and the others, and then the divide movement and the others. Well, divided. We have to be very clear here. For example, in Fonyi.
I'm sure the mobile Julie, like,
yeah, recently, when people say, "Oh, let's have Nyandaka unitely," Nakafunoma, you understand, and La Banco Bondi, Dolma Mobile. Mondialongo will botang. If only they are ahead with evidence. If because to left out it will call Bango Kango, and that divide me make half. That is what caused the people of Fonyi to lose. That's it. Because, for example, well, look at the independent candidate. Basically, that independent candidate, and then I say this to people, to be frank, from the beginning.
No, we will come there. Okay. Then from there.
No,
divide. It's all different no like that. Except if you want to give it a new definition. I don't have any problem. Okay. But as far as divide UDP a division also. That's clear, that's true. You would have seen their Mentensai and they are fighting for this seat for UDP. But now, political our allegiance, our support has gone somewhere. Isn't it? Meaning the attention and the allegiance that the party had in unison as one whole thing got divided because those that were having some part of that unison have gone. But and other people man UDP support and the better UDP. It means not better UDP. What fatally? What fatally? You can explain. But you are and is not went or who say one thing if you are mental science, in the campaign, because you will have bring in as a value. No, I'm not comfortable. Allow me. Let me. I'm not comfortable. Mental was already there. Yes, you would have seen him. You have seen him there. But because I'm a company into a campaign, yeah, you'll look upon to the fire and tell I'm get it. Fine, it's fine. You remember the last election, huh? At the Kabada, we have a 12 vote there. They went there. They had a meeting with those people close or whatever. Our vote dropped to 5. This time, if they are not there, I'll go back to this. I will demonstrate and you know, close this divide people. Let me go to you so much, Doctor. Divide. Without any straight and Mr. Saidy.
Saidy, quickly. Bayo talked about the peaceful nature of the election or whatever. But I did not hear him mention the war-torn zone because apparently there was a fracas and he described it as a war-torn zone. What happened there?
That's what he described already.
What? But I mean, maybe you didn't listen to me.
No, but then what you described is not a war-torn zone.
What?
What you described here, it was peaceful. Nobody fought, maintain your cool. But I'm talking about at that video when you're talking war-torn zone. It's like a war-torn zone.
Yes. No. I mean, the kind of those people came to attack us. They came to attack us. In fact, they were saying the Mantala meeting from Kenolando. So that is MPP. Will you okay?
Were there weapons?
What I'm saying is they came with their stops and the like. They came with food. They came with traditional weapons. My bad. I mean, no, I forget about tradition. But all what I can tell you, I'm like, let's call a spade a spade. It's wrong. It's a mobilized. You MPP small dealer. Yes, and you someone MPP Tisato, whatever small dealer. Yes, and they came. Some of the investors will not go for them for it. Yet they don't be able to attend it, and they were coming to us. We want signality. All right. Somebody coming for one. It only fit no matter until the Cairo Murundikang.
Okay. Thank you so much.
But it's not understood. It's still not a war.
They came for war. They came for war. We took that.
Okay, go ahead.
Allah National People's Party, the ruling party. Ali gagné basoro. Ali kunufula fa berekilina. Me alon ka kolera bakele.
Sidi Fara.
Me alon ka kolera bakele. Pray definitely. Afo moli NPP aliye mum simfal leta pour ka jeko a contributor NPP yenyi nyatota min soto bantanjang aning kiang. What are the factors me alonko ay success the NPP la towards this election me alonko tambira no command
abaraka wahe Sejo nga kuma kangol moyle bari mbar concentré la dang wala ñi ngaro minke
ya nit lu pare la ngi be
ya ñi ngaro minke ba concentré la wala kan ndal gagné tale andu gagné wala mundi ye moñol dang so nga moñol dang ne sira ngoni dal la ngata fo statistics channel siata ba ke ñu wato kon bari abe min ko mara je wala ko NPP le sira ngoni at the end of the day carte fay dol tambita no jan ma kala malo no wato no ko statistics channel sotota bari ni silo asotota so that will tell you how shocked the opposition were coming nge bute nyame andung min contributor ye ñinin karo ke wal NPP ye one advantage to wala ñindi ko NPP is the party in government ndalla ba Mansakunda kono bi so nin data campaign wala nsa campaign o keno minna wala ñindi ko na Mansami Basirim president Basirim bi as the president of the Republic of the Gambia ala Mansakunda ye do ko minke ndalla party sa wodendi ko wala dunno kay rendi mo la ko ngani yurwa kar sama nga yurwa kar sama nga woto nali carte fay na candidate o ye ay anim Mansakunda ba bulo dunno la ñoko no pour kan ñinke bari ndalla nga sambaje asa ko candidate woto womu kukirinde mi yalon ko nga wo advantage ta wala like any other party in government ba minkela okay fulanya wala ñindi ko mol ya jelendal ba barol ke kan yurwa sama kengena ñindawol kana ka fay nindal sita jimba jina kelale ñindongo ba ke kan already hani wota men wata na sira ngota bulu no fa so womu anoda fanna dolde fanna do fana wala ñindi ko nga make sure fana ko candidate ba mil to monna ay ke mol fanga candidate to mi yalon ko ite lafta wala e lafta pour ngol dila gon del fana carte fay do leta meta do mi yalon ko comme baye afa ñam nga lesson so lande nga candidate tol je nga komi nga moje mi yalon ko del fil ko ñing ate fenketa ate lo luta parti ate lo batata parti a fenketa nga mari tambindi mol ko hani del mala fi wala do bi jasa gena bankara nga sa kena man fenke mol lafta tel la yaata la katakol je yaata la ko so na dafa la lesson lan wala na ni tata ya jube selection o nga minke community ni ne selection o ke mo tombo ya dindela ndel nga candidate o nyim bran nga bule bulu fanna do fana bije mi yalon ko nga lesson o lan woto fana andu nga improve on this one wala nyente ko you know I mean probably these are unsolicited advices I'm so bayo buko tabul no dana wanyil dol safela no bari maybe abo murna tepo ni ko na yalla moy nga min fana kalamata ko ñing kono wala ñende ko mol na mol da malletu ñola po da malle ñolo ngi da malle findi ñoka ngi ñu yaaye to ñalam nga mol soto min yalan koy bota from the central level wo is very normal kata ka support di ka backup di team wonin because amam be no ndrom bota carte fayo kon en Masembe so nga lesson jamal la no woto during the Masembe election yeta ya jube no in terms of reinforcement nga minke no Masembe make bantanjam make kaya for this time around so nga bula with the locals you know we're just behind and push them so wol kata fenete mi yalon ko ngol strategy la tamande politiko ñu ko bari ku kilim fanan wala mi yalon ko ata bayno la wala ko siramo ñu saba fengolam anu ngal ka ñu saba la nyaadi la wala ka fundi mol kan pour ni e katan so ne aran dal la dungo mol kan italiaje ko ndel ka fenne sambo wala ni del dun de kan e karami na laje bu ko del fana ka dum mol kan so abemo accusation already by
no when campaign is closed when campaign is closed
of the things
no when campaign is closed
will be no
when campaign is closed
will be mu ala kunna mirol te baraka fala ko mantra je bar nga jele dun daje nga fenkele tengi ket ata kamine ital kamine ni je before in the first place because they are supposed to be probably somewhere else yalan so politiko mo fenen yalan ko kam fo wala is very messy you understand andu nga kam fo fitno la nyori kan ata fa ya fo jana ko ndel la mol ni la mol la basawati la kele kaya jana election Masembe election ndel la mol ni la mol la basawati in the same facility somanda nimba fin la ngam nyoso motol so ngam motol e finde and so forth but ko do je mi yalan ko le rule out la in politics it doesn't exist and that happen no la fana fum jaar fonga interact we have to interact with people fonni mole du nyokan na moli yaye ni dol bije wol itawol samon wala meeting la bari ka dunge kan ni kata yajal dol bije you know itawol dundin wala ti sato la bari ka dunge kan ni kata so banin dal dunda mumo kay yaje kon dal lin ko do kata pour ka di
nobody said that when the campaign were closed
so here
the campaign closed wala
look mo ti jammi yalan ko ba fa la kabrin campaign o closed e buka du nyokan ku lokono amon so ba ti jammi ba governor blog governor ni tara governor ita malon governor tara bina e malon police commissioner because nga lon ko for example ay police commissioner to faja police commissioner ala taro ni regional amanta me hari kar sabo fon la je way min long in LRA to the extent that nako abaduna molka because e minja wala nyindi ko ning ika man ko le mi folo biro da ken sango ka boy and bayo la UDP dalta kukilinda mala they always play the victim game to solicit for sympathy from people. It's never gonna work again. Mol batata wala le yentelle lipanonja yentelle butenuje yentelle people want to see policies and programs and yurwa ka sama yena.
So what you are doing is issue of what your people were doing
this issue of
people were abusing the rule of law. You are saying that people were abusing the rule of law.
The rule of law is been abused. There are mechanisms for redress. Let them go and seek for redress.
What?
The legal system will create in this country that UDP has gone to court.
So you people were abusing the law all the time.
Against the president, the person of the president and the government, if they felt that they have been mistreated, they thought they have been cheated, let them go and seek for redress. Yeta bundal to dami yalonko nga bundal ni lole and with the bundal ni they are very independent. Ni tataje iganyeta lumjele kunum. But you see, it's very unfortunate that UDP will go to court today and win. Tomorrow they go to court and lose, and the judges are not fair. The judiciary is not fair. Ngadi jande fo ila party leader fon e gagnata dum case dola dum jang Malik in Johnson Olken in fact the travel issues, if you remember those things, they have gone to court. Talib Nul, they have gone to court when they were with UDP. E gagnata, they celebrated together. I remember when UDP took us to court. I am referring to us as presidential advisors. In Zamba court. In fact, Usiru Dabo was the one Mintaraka UDP represent in our case. Win. But Lumina judgment over delivery, he was away. He was called by this very medium here on the telephone. And he casted doubt on the judiciary. So, Mimbije wala nyendiko. Ndele focus dole soto wala nyendiko. Bamu yuru asi vala samana na banko mole. Pour you appreciate no. Because Mansakunda party o party sita. Pala soto, you want to consolidate. You want to stay in power. Mobuka la fiye na yesi Mansakunda nyini. Overstay. Kole yari nyami. Yena Mansakunda nyini. Yesi pala soto yiko sama yiko vile. Party buko okay. Ning overstay la. B. Bawin don nyanda ke daily. Talman nyanda ko overstay kufanya. Because the party leader so do banko kan jana mi alon ko bi kabirin din wol mim mawulu fo wol nate carte feo date han bi na ba nyoka so ni will ko overstay for the mass sign yetande alon ka sika for what do you mean what do you mean by that I want to concentrate on this when my that's a very dishonest you know that's a very dishonest so the police is get to the Gambia. That's what we talk about. The police the dishonesty from the part of Jamal wala nyendeko. Let's say Mansakunda moving be keloke ni Mansakunda kon. You just want to place that glory on one individual. I'm not underrating the efforts of, for example, their party leader. Ale katakuol minke nyimbanko kokon. But UDP model fata nunje. When you talk about money katoke, they forget about even the people who died that lost their life in defending, in making sure that that government,
so you recognize that now
is left. So when you can I didn't know that. So but you said here, let me concentrate my efforts on Santanjan. And you said here, let me make it when they are doing a very good victim card. Our victim card is about for the party. You are contradicting yourself. You are contradicting yourself. Last meet the people stored you. Kabirin tara nung kayaf. Momo badon je fa ba notice la ko the political landscape is changing in Kiang. Because what I remember from Nko, Kiang and Foni traditionally are no-go area for any party. In fact, they consider any party, even if you are in government, UDP consider you as an opposition when you are in Kiang. When you are in Foni, at the time of your ajam, you are considered to be an opposition. Yeah, and then overwhelmingly. And the reality wala nyindiko. Today, if NPP can come to Foni and fight a Siron Ganye, one vote difference. In fact, in fact, the 5 vote difference in Akami yetendila wala NPP la katakuoti. Because Mimbe BJ B, you see, just like any other setting will be aggrieved. Like UDP, NPP.
Well, it's not 1 vote, it's 5 votes different.
That's what I said. I said 5 vote different.
That's what I'm saying. No, because there was information earlier on.
No, that was a myth. No, it was a myth. It was 5 votes.
Oh,
and
5
if you look at IAC, La Fenkol and everything, I think it was later rectified. Kabiri results all in fact, there were earlier results of minister no kaitendi NPP lost overwhelmingly. Yeah. So, but that's all. Yeah. They were playing with people's mind. Come UDP in 2016, they came in. Kano molba carte file ba results all bond la wata hani boxol for man close ba. Baba la carte boxol for ya fale. So, but those are psychologists that people apply so that the others that are going to vote they don't discourage and so forth. But what I'm saying in essence, in conclusion, we remain focused. And Dr. Boja, if kukilim fojang, I think any honest person would agree to that. The truth is that we maintain consistency with our partners. You see, because ndele alliance partners all dul soto min yalon ko mol ka fanyal fam wala na famu minata aliya but ndele one thing la believe ko no mari manta ya sitano dula dotol hala ya mo kunkile na la ngasa value add no to that particular place. So we maintain one thing, consistency. Nga make sure that we keep people, we go with them, we trade with them. Unlike, you've just started an individual here. Yeah, and Bio is getting into, and these are people, me alonko. Kuni tell you londi ye tambindi. Ibe feje, iba kumol fala, wele kadiyamu Those were they are talking machines. But it be just because that individual is not with you. And the moment the name is mentioned, iko kunu wait nyaro lakete. Fokara wait nyaro kelete mo kala montano.
So you were trying to give value.
But just to say, we appreciate this win. For us, we consider, even though Nene didn't agree with me, but I want to say it's a good vote of confidence.
Okay.
For us, Hanya one vote lam. We are not going to into statistics of this percentage and votes will drop jana mimbije wala nyindiko molia carte din talale nganye tale andumba continue miye do ko ke andumba make sure that na build on that to bring more development programs for them so that tomorrow they will support us more. And I can assure you, in these communities communities that we won at Nadia in 2026, we are going to double the vote.
Okay. Kia mudulati mi alonko oppositional kabambanje
baga fond
aning phone
yeah.
Ni mudula fulati meni alonko oppositional kabambanje ba
no phone mag opposition based
NPP
Sidi I want you to refrain your word
NPP as a ruling party right now how do you plan pour kaje ko Allah momentum alia muta alia keep aitra intact isaje ko undecided voters many alonko ibenyi gula ni mafam flo many alonko ngeto fo I'll say attract no nyaming kesoro towards December 2026 election.
Okay, ndela korosiro ku killing ni ajube mol mi man carte fay a number nying certain domande but iba Gambia no le tradition killing soto because bi jamaba foni many alonko they are registered voters jamaba wa sirin kombojang mo jama bota kiyang mini anko they are registered voters iba sirin kombo jang do ko wala lem wala ku dol bi dol foot wala and so forth. So yena aya jube mola importance mole being attached to each of the category of elections in this country, local government, parliamentary and presidential. Ibajele jama ika number min soto min ka carte fay in presidential akasia more than parliamentary kasia more than local government election not jama ba min ko usab wala mo doje la asal lafi pour kata fa barasa nasi kayitandi ko pour nga moto nga wili nga dum moto nga na hajol be bula jang katama kata fo kiyan kata ka carte fay council election america joko man kumaya. But I think with the competition come boje mi fojang and UDP la participation in those elections I think for me it's adding value so much. I'm sorry, I'll get to your question, but I'm setting preamble to this because and as much more discuss on okay kam fanam fonga nyim voter apathy cool fanan kacha dalilol min ka sabo and so forth and what we can do and I think that's an honest opinion from Dr. Bojang ko UDP la participation in elections aka electional credibility dia la ka validate fana and it puts the incumbent or the government on their toes kayitindi ko sikuta kere yalon fonga willing a mamang and then it puts us on our toes to campaign. Yeah, so ni dara ya jube foje anin kiyang to nyalo opposition strongholds all them mo jama bije buka mira fon pour kata ka compete against the opposition there because in fact opposition ka sile ka fo jemo kiyam muntale fixed deposit lete and not alliance fana if to the extent if kabring ni APRC fraction also and they won the 5 seats parliamentary election they thought phony is a fixed deposit for them, but you see politics is getting more and more dynamic. Yeah, it's no longer based on the traditional belief that because of this principle wala nantel ba kala bi mole ku jamal tambindi wala killing jumale be nafakan mole woto kumayata bake mole jumale be nafakan ye jumale samena wala ni kafo moy ko ni ba sabatin society ko ni sam maku because tomorrow isa nyinindiro keno wala ila kuringo sa nyinindiro keno je so ni wala nata nyinindiro la reference points will be there amari mi ne keno nyankunu amari ni del banu nyanyadele you see communities mo kumayate mi yalonko amon ko didi la amon baludi la amon fenke bari ka mabe la sangolde ka mabe la kulliyel do e ka mabe la badi ko farafarol do you know the person may be supported more than an individual mi yalonko ay jumol loje ay school loje and so forth. So we have recognized all these things. And we need a phone kono jube bi. President Barrow's government aba katakuwa minke kam phone kono in terms of euro wala kuwala no. It's unprecedented. Ne sinol jube bi milba dunkan in strategic communities in phone ka dunka finde. Wol mu fen ñun tango lete anu phone ko yaajala ko ñi ñimba euro wa jamale samalante le nang economically and about euro wa jamale samalante in terms of also connecting to each other. Now ni data ya jube as recent nga dula jamal bi je in phone dami yaron ko kurangol connector wolba dami bi ye lampo soto so ni mol sita ika fako ha silo man konko bay molye silo man fenke ndaka fa ko man ke toñate because silo e konko bay molye le silo e mol domoro ke mol kono le yaajala kurango ay domoro ke mol kono ay kudo ke mol la poso kono because oppositional argument jamal bi ka ke min de wala nyal silo man mol kono muta amon ko de ken na poso kono yaajel kurango man kono that's for me that's not true ni tata ya jube bi ni silo fintita dawdandi o korda tiel min bo silo nyinkan the first thing wala ni ata comme ye bungole lo non je de beto turn that bungo into a shop because bitiko ama kodo samalena ni ya jube no wota non kamin fo mole danin kurango ka dunu santol beto anin la jamal mol kana janneto ka larangol mol ka bundal korda bundal ki be do ku nu janneto ye selendi mutol kanke safa bolon kon. But with the rapid, infrastructural development and expansion of electricity, you don't need to walk for kilometers for kata welda mano ya. Ye welda man skilled welda man also. Mina ko mecho karanunja. Imurunda in Foni, imurunda in Kiang. Yele workshop ol yele je. Ika doko keje. They don't have to sit in convoy here. Pour kana nyin role ni dimbayal basabari. So ndel na dira la mba continue la. Wo yuruwal mi ko mulko wala nyin kambul. Because nga fenko soto. Nga dashboard also is managed by a whole ministry. I'm talking of at the level of the government. Nga dashboard also at the office of the president. We have, Department of Strategic, Development. Ika every tour. We have technicians. They document every single statement. Community bulu. Mr. President, ndelajang nga dinul ya kolea nyum kolea kusoto for this. Na musoli nyum kolea kusoto jang. Ika be document ni parete ika beta ya tablet and put it into priorities. Ya jube ministry juma wala ministry juma. So nim parete murunda nang koteke. The government la response also. Ika sim wol kamurung wala kan koteke ka jube. Ni last minute the people so kabirim botaje. Mole bina nyininka. Ani mulle bije mi yalon ko sa wala keno mune improve tani mine mo improve wala na jama ninka muro ni hakiloto wala ibanu ground bake ibajala jama ni mul frata meeting lato the technicians will be consulted the president even before we go we'll have already this briefing to the president ya be tablet na frata ka respond all that so amako ko ni president frata meeting lato akadia ma kumfe to respond to what people are requesting for. He will respond with statistics and improvements that have been taken. But which of
the meetings that the president responded with statistics and information?
No, abandon them. Do you follow the Meet the People stuff?
I did a whole lot of it.
No, go back to the tapes and see. The president will respond to say, Kunun Kabirin Kananunjang, ale silo banung at this percentage and this percentage bi aba jin tembe karleto ale kunun kabrin kana non jang sate lulu wala man je soto no bari bi sate sabay je soto le lulu ni kono so that's in essence what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay, ngajele UDP la youth leader ayal jalayle andum ayal accuse fananko voter intimidation o ketala nyin carte fa o mi alon ko wala tambita e mun soto be mu iba
jalayti to
criticize okay
yeah UDP la youth president wala baro mo wolde criticize wo kan niaja safaro ka drum wo criticize lati ron
fo kan governor kara fa dum muy kadum mol kan
no kala do governor whatever just go to Bantaba alkalo simple let's go to the Bantaba alkalo issue. Yeah, and come evidence. Bantanjang alkalko. mang jamfaje because the reality is that mang I don't know the makungona fenyo bode no nyota and at the time banu kudol kono wadde gane yala and to be honest because mba siring kafo nyato makungona fenyo bode no nyoto and what resulted because ngamo governor responded with a statement of nga caption da mala jefong ma read and normally when these things happen ndefong ka telephone sika do bi nga call ke to establish the facts around but to be quite honest with you one thing that I did not mang dunga ko nyin kono wala bandanyang alkal ko nyindi bari ndanga ku kilin long wala nyindi ko bi media ba nyaming anin kol min be ba kere nyim banko kanja governor lam bang wala alkalo lam wala fewfen iba fewfen ninkela iba hakilu to wakela gel because one President Barrow may not side with anybody mi alon ko yekuke anin silo mantanyol that I know so nin ko dol fanan keta fanan probably mi alon ko they are wrong ando ngaya kala mona it will be rectified so banda jang alkalo is one thing mi alon ko man ko mako nying follow back but voter intimidation now let's put it into context when they said voter intimidation it can mean for mune bije mi alon ko ika wala for let's say for example by I really be for that. Lumina video thing and I listened to the video. I didn't want to get to that. I'm glad that Nene confronted him on that and the way that he described that scene me happened in Kia. But if you look at the video, yeah, give a video in Bakiri. I mean Bondije. Yeah, NPP call sort of orienting a T-Satul Muta. The T-Satul Muta and Kakete. And political konoja. In fact, for me, I consider that to be, also political maturity. Really? To the extent. Because ngadi jame jam, UDP will kejane, ya king janne, I continue to kake andi bakale hani samudo, dani alonko hudo, will just give up. Don't bring speculations here. Don't bring speculations. I medium in body. You said no, listen, let me start an example. Let me give you time. You will have all your time. You will respond. What I'm saying here is that one thing I make outright clear, all I'm bantanya alkalios. Knowledge about it is very minimal, and I'm not gonna make any further comment about it. Yeah, voter intimidation. I all of them go. I remember the last chairmanship election in West Coast region. I'm a native of Sifo. Yeah, there was this particular day after our meeting. This was relatively late. I was traveling to see my mom to drop something for her. Yeah, so I was using the NPP pickup. Ndara for Kitty. Before the Kitty, I saw a convoy coming. I didn't even know Jumal no. So ngamolje lorin korabo naldo. So mbije nga mano bula. Musudo bi akonye ko UDP ko lebinaka. Bugo ngamoy modo ka fa ka ni no matel la molete andon de la mol hayne kanana. Ngai ko fo Jumal la wajana akonye ko Brikama area council de la UDP la candidate nyon wala binaka no. So Kitty ne je jube mano nying and silol frankol temo jamfara nyolal because graduate jensa diversion keno dami. What I did was I moved my vehicle all the way to the extreme end ndara ngana muto park wal don load out to allow them to pray tambi but mi entraje ndene ala da mate mo ndanga wolon nendrol ni kol mi entraje I know ndanga wolon alu silo ni mu mansala silolde. The truth is that ni ngalon ko at the time UDP la route mo wolte dum pour kana I would have definitely abajarla no ngabire katani sanyana and so forth pour ngata but I was caught on that Kitty and Isifo is the shortest way. So but I was insulted, I was harassed, and some people even attempted to attack me. Yeah, ngamo iko ibafala ko ha NPP ko le akina ila intelligence ko lam fen ko dul bafala na intelligence bi la fa ngalo ko abinale, which is not true. And often sometimes I see my brother do certain acts and coming from go situation do manyana ka futa dami atul fonga ka futa dije. Situation do be mi ala kam because let's say for example ye camera ka ita fana mi yalo ko ita ta wol tar lo rinje ye camera lo ndi wol kay ba kumol folay ba description wal kala you may also agitate them to do certain things. But what I do know is that nako na ba nyama dega for NPP lam bang for UDP lam for Jumalam we should be civil enough because dega NPP will never side with anybody mi yalo ko ibita lole ka for parti do ko al nyanda kana jan baral tin hajam bara nyininka fo wol min data lo wod lato nera je wala fo ndam antraje atla ya fo ko wol ko itel tamiti mo kala je anyininka fo ay VDC chairmanol taraje ban fay women leaders ole taraje ban fay alkalol taraje ban wala fay satila imamol taraje ban min ka fo ko alta meeting mo kala ja certainly no. These are, and we'll get sort of in politics. You have some young people, me along will fintila. You know, I mean, they will attempt to do things.
They do things through the direction of the president.
Yeah, thank you.
It was the president who told them that openly. That's confrontation. That was said by the president.
That's very dishonest of you, but
no, but we all heard that from the president.
I just want to say,
we all heard that from the president.
I just want to say is that NPP is you know, I mean, we have very peace-loving, you know, supporters, members. Our members were arrested here. They were taken to police for saying or doing things. They were undone, just like any other, you know, person will be arrested. And then being alonko, you know, in most countries, you know, I mean, ruling party members will kasembo min soto to get to the point me alon ko ba iko ni mo NPP dingol te andunga lonta NPP ka foko no le ya wo muta ya arrest police ya muta ya arrest wo mu kunda space la kono de baro da mala administration wala so wo sabu
who are those
so
people?
In essence na lesson ngamin lande wala ni ko ba continue ka yuru asamba molie comme yemin fo pour ka consolidate no in these areas inshallah.
Okay, albe mun sinfa letala pour kaje ko mun la wosida nanata electoral integrity la albe mun sinfa la pour kaje ko free and fair election ay ko kutimi alongo ay soto 2026 because ni mun wosida alti men alongo mol kat la itandila nanata carte fa wala tilin wala kola ani ku ko ton men alongo aka soto je as a ruling party alse mun keno pour kaje ko tilin soto carte fa wala karol.
Malon feel bafla as a government or as a ruling party because as a ruling party at the party level, you know, we our government have policies and then for institutional autonomy along kabirin nata we strengthen those institutions, can make sure that the independence is you know highly, you know, assured. Ngajele, you know, even oppositions, they take advantage over the institutions that are in establishment. Of course, yalong opposition yata man dia akoleral. And that's the truth. Momo opposition yakona bafale opposition yamandia. I'm sorry if my brother Dr. Bojan should tell you kabra lutanung as in fact I called government ya sponsor. Yeah. I know that's also so which he would know that so opposition yamu fenemi alonko akolera and president
sponsor.
No. What was it called? I didn't I know in fact when they said Lamin Bojang, I was thinking is this Lamin Bojang by
this
BBC? Sorry, Abdullah Bojang. So I even confused the two at the time. But the truth is that some of those things they can mean for I think keku sort of ngoti. Nene I'm sorry because I don't for the test alwala fengo sort of kanya. Kan yo kumodo fay ngalo matel dal. Because iko jana iko phone independent candidate do mal dal. So,
but is there a member? But is there a member? Is a registered member of their a registered member for the
but what I'm gonna say is that Katakuol BJB alonko, let's say until we are member of the inter-party committee and unka participate very effectively. Ning watu kumandro kata we send high representation in the inter-party committee. Can make sure that being a pledge. So fulanja o mimbije fana wala nyintiko niajube mechanisms for redress nga make sure mambo fiambondije kandung nene reversing court fajang. Jami bita lola border ka fu mole ko alta duna because ñing carte fa min tamita jang there was no supplementary registration so ka mina ni border to ka fonte la interest mu janal te fenko to ha border to jana yalo do bije ngam fo jang wala ñindi ko fitno ko do fon la ka wulu because
by election
I don't know ako itel dara la interest mu dulal to dam yalo ko ñing border satel to tente and they have always said that Gambia no member sabating Casamas, Gambia no member sabating Senegal. Ibu will be denial of
look at them.
Because including them, ila mulka bonon blal dol tarin kan purka naka carte faye. Ibota jana yini kan onjay wilte tata phone no. You know, they prepare themselves in the form of junglers. Itara phone ka imul intimidate. You understand? They were attacked there because kodo bije li bulata numa ibulata numa. And bepare ikad numa objective media is very clear. The person will retaliate, and that's why in phone, your retaliation also already. But how do you want me to go mantoro soto en kulum? Be no will be able to call my friend Patini. But all that of phone, you call dolke. So institutions like reversing con, then I mean mira wala nyendiko. Nia mirako mole register mi yalon ko manyana ka register, you have the opportunity to go to, you know, a competent jurisdiction pour yela complain okay, and the courts are in place. You know, ni reversing court la period on banda. You also have, you know, I mean, other courts mi yalon ko they are in place for this I complain on that. So the IEC, we cannot dictate them because Gambia la kate fayo. In Fonye, I will say an experience with you in Fonye. Somebody, I had a conversation with somebody. Me alonko, it's not with us. I'm under the Karal. When Kabrin Kate Fai Konying Bina Datila, Patil Momo Yela representative Soto. Just look at the Gambia Kate Fai system on Yumbanyami. Yeah? Ning ila molba siring albeka voter register cross check nyola ka make sure mumba carte fay ka wala the right person mumba carte fay ning carte fay ta fa pareta o boxon mi yanka ba lorinje mobe ka boxon ñu jubira ka make sure that nako fi manta boxon ñu kono boxo ka seal mobe nyala ala serial number ni ya seal minna abeka di mobe ka ataka safeje ko tege ni ba yela la the same thing wala ka happen ni bo boxon ñu yela la ko tege everybody is present ni yalon ko mobe ba nota la ka yetandi ko ni ya black tree ya yela ma training kono ni lul la bije mobe ka lul leje ni sabala bije mobe ka sabala je ya jale in the actual wala ka je so we are not changing this system for because mo jamale propaganda ke pour ngata paper ballot bari ko ni nga paper ballot ke bi is it going to work out for us at this critical nature of our democracy nde I hold an opinion dan ko ni democracy mi yalon ko ba tete kan ne amon futa nyanda ka futa damin do ni ajube na argument do keno University of the Gambia some years ago in a student union election on a paper ballot introduced the amount of invalid votes means sort of about, if I stand to be correct, around 110 invalid votes you want to sort of in that election. So University is the highest institution of learning. New world data into paper ballot, invalid votes. How do you have 5 invalid voters? Well, imagine an ordinary person, imagine what's going to happen. Okay. So I believe that so we maintain all these standards to make sure that there is electoral integrity here and there and politification of all these political parties. Again, also for me is to ensure the ground level. You can argue let's say charge in terms of fee payment. And in fact, we'll do it in Parliament. We'll do a debate in Parliament. Election is also very expensive. Because it's a duty on IEC to make sure that they put all preparations for you. Will be mu depend on me along akabo mansakunda bulo and yala demar bal. So at least these are some of the things. But we are committed to ensuring that electoral integrity is assured and that there is a level playing field pour mobe compete no. Wala ne niya last presidential election every single candidate police or security dealer end of security in the world kata wole ke ila rally ka cover. They are given, media coverage. They are given all these things to make sure that nako promobe banko mole mobe moino.
Okay. Ngana funding ke wala karola. Mosa fo ebe sirim funding ke wala toyala. Nana da president wala karola. Yamar lale muti. Yeka funding ke wala yamaro sindi. Waramte yaka yam president yamar ni beden funding ke wala kola. Andu ngajele recently funding ke wala ka silota kata koma silola. E kanyen silota le kata koma silola. Dolko doku soto bale be yale be nyim banko kan niaje funding ke wolbe wulla e be dunna kulungola e be nyim silo tala dolbe fala je dolbe yemanna do kole man soto nyim banko kanjang as a presidential youth advisor afumole president e kamu yamar sifa le diala membe den funding ke wala wosi dal men yalonko e ko laytandi nyim banko kan.
Okay, abaraka bake maybe nka yamar sifa me di president la sekono taw fono la jam bitung bari ni amoy ko ise do man nim fono okay ka fu ko nim president sitale nka nyinni na faaye funding ko kela ñu wosi dala ñina you can say that no I'm just setting the background for you ko because ni aje ko yamar la wala ni mu mi galon ko al ka dumpun al ka kullo ko di al ka kacha so at the end of the day is the action on wala ita ka wala je ko nene da atalaka ke ma yamar wala nene atalaka lin teri ma yamar aka min fay probably it wouldn't be in the open e bo mari
teri ko fo kana husband ko fo jan teri ko
no example yalo dol e buka ko hamro dan ni kala ko fangol ti nyama afo ka nyama ko husband so next me exactly will be fago suta sol janin ka gal bay so let's say for example ning nene ka iko nene ataka misa Dr. Bojang Yamar nene Dr. Bojang Yamar lo obuka findi banda ninka findi banda wala misa Bojang na behavior in design kodi so okay one let me just for say presidential advisors la role one is to advise on policies and programs wala mansakunda la policy li bamil de dakang pour ka jube roke je ka jube ko nyum policy li kana mil de da fo ay ala impact on the lives of young people coming jamin from policy nyamba dokol so the process of developing the policy you offer an advice an opinion to say ninga nyum policy kari doku tan ninga nyin katante aba mum impact la on the lives of young people in terms of economy in terms of employment in terms of any other thing does it even have health consequences and so forth so you can offer that. One is advisors offer advice in this respect or wala njani policy ni fanka develop wala policy mi yalon ko ebije what are their impact on the lives of young people to a greater extent mun nafala sotle ya mun mantora kule sama wala sama nasi kule sama and you're looking at that also and advice against so that then if there is need to review those policies it can be reviewed. So primarily is you're looking at policies at various dynamic angles to make sure that the interests of young people are featured in those policies. But now coming into specifics of happenings here and there, so if let's say you ask, and I always cite maybe examples they were visible and those things were open. I told in this platform one time, for example, when these tuk-tuk bikes were banned by the government, I took it upon myself to get to the president, and I did a finding, and I noticed ala economic impact in the lives of young people. I got to know that some of the young people bikes all sang ye fenkele ye juloleta ki sang and so forth, but the police came with very reasonable argument in respect of those bikes and so forth, and even though they have very viable argument, I advised against, and I spoke to the president about this, and he saw the sense in
mantra bronze so bega Bantaba
so yare to wa ganjel la faja
ani de ban niko ba ma la dila joga niko ba
okay sorry msondela wa
ma jom mata mo
msondela to nyala so covering olje ko ninga ban ala to nyalang ay mantorol soto bari ninga ban ala mantorol sembo warla dan nka bori mantorol menaje. So in fact ndara fonga nila union ni sitang nga kachalke and then fongol d'accord tan ko ne ajube nyen tuk datita no wato men wota won key point I remember ila wasilo nying from UN house kana baka wala gara so nyendo adata tan wala lan o nyam ke mol boni because UN house lo la to kana baka gara so motol ka tadami wota moto mol ka je tamale ka track la jam fatal so start wo ma fon la and it eventually grow up, but eventually you see them in the mainstream traffic here and there. So nataka when I did, and the president thought, well, what I presented to him was reasonable, reasonable enough to say, let's proceed, and then we do. And I'm sure you must have seen a lot of other incidents, youth protests, Minnesota, have been in the forefront, and Jama protesters will come in demand. You see them, eventually happening here and there. And like I said, it's as a result of before I can court or anything, some of them as a result of the wisdom of the president. But of course, there are conversations that takes place and, eventually result into certain actions here and there. So, coming back we home for, wo mu fenere mi yalon ko passionné nimba kacala nka kacala hakilu tu bal ando manke bi kuti momo e al ntelon ibala no ko nsira meeting hall jama al economy alon ko nga presentation ke nga kacal ke in terms of mineka mul samba bagwela wata mo mantra sir no nyum place o fonto bar kunu nga ko makangol min fo bi ni nga wol fo dol san nenga kan dol san do yakan dol sa foko nga hakelin tay yalla tamandi wala because bi mbam sakunda la kono wala tan bol do fo kan bar kunu be d'accord tan nako migration all over the world I push and pull factors also dalilo le bije mi yalon ko wala ka sab kodi dalilo bije mi yalon ko ka sab wo dalilo dol bije globally mol d'accord ta dabulo dalilo min dol wol dol ma soto gambe jan kelin dol bije for example kelol anin kurangol natural disasters disease outbreaks and war and famine comme mul jamabal d'accord wol dol bi kake fenkol dol bije economic hardship and unemployment wol ka sab sa ni nata into our Gambian context comme ya fo nyamin mo jamal ko ha because mol man do ko wala soto mol man fenkol soto be baaje la ko nyin ko masilo ala ko nyin is very complex and dynamic it's very complex and dynamic and jama mol ka min fo nyinenje akon ke fende mi yalon ko ku soto ngolo baren dol soto mi yalon ko li amira ko ni tata bagwe ni fotata Italy drum wala Spain drum pim my life is going to change automatically andung abuga naka ke wote ni tata je dol bije wole ko ya ku jamal soto je just aside from coming ga silo ni ta dol bije factor dol bije mi yalon ko wala bi nin dani raba siring itaba Job kunda wala Gomez kunda ndaba Saidy kunda na kotal ba ñobal maybe nene dinkew wotata nin tubabu du wala tata bagwi o so ala na taka harje yajal nim banko bu ngolo ba nene ñola sokono yaje start ka semaine bu ngolo kodi so ni no fana bajala ko pour ka sofa hani ata ni no ba do ko la jante nded dingo ba do ko aka soto ke ngam fam balnoje bari bajala ko wo soto ni maybe wo nasitale wo doyatale wo neadi ni darno science ndella be ko nyoka ndella kata football ndella ka fe ni felente nga start ka semaine bu ngolo woto ndefana nyanda ka semaine bu ngolo so one there may be a lot of pressure on ndela wodi ngoni ka etende ko ha fenke fele jang if mo nyo fele jam yalo ka tele ka fe jang felente nga ba nyinke ka ba abama wala fenke ka ni ata ya bama sama makale that becomes all those becomes factors mi yalo ko wala na isamo wo kuma kan dol be wala dol mi yalo ko wala bije foy ba dokula foy man ta dokula wol be mo nyol tar la jang boy jam na cool ba nyami boy jam ba fenker na jang ba jam even though it's not all rosy with them but they will motivate you pour ye wakelino pour kata sa tete na mamiro ñu soro pour ye wakelino pour kata and wol dol bi je mi yalla ko bo la ja wato ben ye dokul letu jang kata so ni ko ha doku soro bal yalla yatana mol kata these are areas mi yalla ko mol ko because dol bi je ye dokul letu jang itata dol bi je métier ti yalla am mol jikita fon ko ila métier ko na de be flourishing yela dokul ñintu jang itata yela métier to jang itata dol bi je no sol lam dol bi je kapindal lam dol bi je electricien lam yela dokul to jang itata dol bi je ni tata mol ka ñoo ñinin ka mena na ñi yalla ñi doko bula jang minke kan aba progress kan gradually ba wodo ko li ka mil to jang it may not build castle for you bari wo wato mi ne bije wo sanji tanko ko mantono wo sanji lulu ko mantono ila baluba wala bale ke fam balu noje ke la dimbal balu noje kodi so now I'm being very careful of the choice of word kambami mfala because you see ngami mfo wala nyendiko ni yako kacha you are talking about lives because somebody may be listening me alonko adingo fata je abari ndingo fata je adokoma fata je and maybe mudo safo no bari me alonko ito man sakundara sinon kan ni hafo komi ngami mfo so I'm I sincerely apologize. I have to be very sensitive to the feelings of that person, but here is the case. Why mun justification na bataraje, for example, in terms of fuaria wala kolea fo yedung ibita bakwe la ye nyung ila musola ye nung dingola ine yedung kulunga kono burkata mun justification na bataraje mi alon ko musona ala kema ibe yedung kulunga kono e kata bakwe. I'm just saying raising these critical questions barinka nakini minna wala bankola kolea nyende ni last kulunga min boytanu in Jenak Ndaranu Mansakuna, I was part of the Mansakonal delegation myself and the Chief of Staff, National Security Advisor and CDS and then PS Minister of Interior. Ndaranu. So I had some interaction. I understood that I said Musobi Jemi Alonka na dingo ibeba no kulunga nyingoto. dingo nyum fata muso bije ramala ate survive tal bara mala fonka dingo nyum fata kulungo muso bije mi yalon ko ate na kema ibe bo kulungo nyum kono kewo nyum fata ate malon ko kewo nyum fata ya so akol min fende mi yalon ka complex the one jiko bije hamo bije yeah and they believe that nako jana wala to sono yata more than mbadamin tending and then because also
quickly niya foko muso na dingo amalonko adingo fatale and then muso kena muso amalonko lindo kewonyim fatale amalon no wato la fo later
yeah amalon no wato no
okay fo later alonko okay
amalon no wato
survive
amalon no wato
okay
amalon no wato ko wala kata and you know so bi karambundo dinningol ni tara ya jube karamuto dinol mi yalon ko bi somanda ni wilta e ka dasa modi le ka konton dila e ka logn dila wole ni kulung ye ni ko masilo moy le dron e mo nyoli e influential dron they just jump into kulungo ni kata karamuto dino bo mun responsibility wala ri woka mi yalon ko e ba fala ko banko la kolya wala ya sabo pour ayta so these are critical issues mi yalon ko we have to look at them nka funyu ma do bi je mi yalon ko ndoku nyolam ngaja e safero keno ko montolo no in the passing of Mohamed Diallo. I can't believe because, you know, in terms of provision for the family, mobe nyabota fe ala lifestyle adunga kaminka ala dimbayale and so forth. But the minute a sitale overnight dorong amadi sunkuroji. Yara fongo, you know, iko kulungo mintara ani molmi la fonkol wera bar long hane saying adingota dungo kulungo nyirakon. So but you wakara mudo dinol and every other person moli abe subject me na wolonko banko nyina ko laari mol ma hope soto banko kan I mean for God and heaven's sake Gambia fotata wo tempoto it's not true I don't believe in it and mun fon ka fo yalla nako diga with caution ibe yalla ko tonya mun fota wo tempo banko mun fota wo tempo andu madu wa fana be fota wo tempo nyendo ka fo kolyami balala mol kanja fo muso na dingo mi yalon ko anala kewoni muso na dingo dingo mi yalon ko man hani sanji lulo si sanji worosi eni woli yenyu nyolal kalkata ko masilon no we have not reached that stage
okay ngajele 2025 alone protest flag jale mi yalon ko amu balambaya balati nyim banko kanja andum minnu siata kono fam funding kewlen they are all youths mosa fono 99.9% e be mun funding kewleti ite multi mi yalon ko e katra filo kono andum funding kewla wosida ya lonne niye muna firinyi masa kundala koto niaje fundinke wal fintita nan kela balamba itandi kela nuclear itandi ko lamen ya lon ko yaje ko amantra ta ko kan banko kan surtout masa kunda ko
okay killing wala nyende ko nde jikita nyala killing mi yo wulu amanka ko kunum fundinke man fen soto wosi dal soto no pour que balamba ya itandi no bara bundal ma yele no pour yewo manya sifa because ni yake mimba ko may be ya lon yaje so niaji be hani bi political party mi yalla ko ka finte pour kata ka protest ke pour que nin ko protest wala nyinde pour kata ke la ni ko ya yetende yalla balamba ya yetende ka pamitol sik o so kunu ni wole ko man roke mo buke danko no ke ba la bol damal ka trano nyaato bari bi wo siloti je because fanni ke mirano minna wala ngo kunu ndel be bon wo kono jan and that's why I felt that was an insult for Bayo to tell me that nako atel banu binto la kunu kabring ndel la nyin ke bal banu nyin kelol because Bayo knows very well that nako ndel fana katandingo in the forefront ngo kenu janne fo ku jamal tamira no kono bari bi mfara tembol to dal ko mo buga mola effort no just but I'm saying this fonninke ke mira
our leader to mention
fonninke ke mira men lañu ko lintara protest la yem mutaje you know there is an unjust system asekeno yemuta ibam falale namol nene tan jela kotake inen tan fenkela because at the time that was the system it was a very brutal system ibe arrest la motale no entertainment dole ibe arrest la motela wera barlonna and so forth ila family bina taro kon so mo laaje ko min be kake jam mo ko jarla jeje pour ngata ngaddu nyim protest on kon bari bi mo yal nako nin dara protest la ni yang arrest je camera bi tan la fo selo kono je fon mbalula mbanna ke ayitende la ka fo mfele jam mol kana fon pour ke beli ka fo ko no manta sonna bela and so forth because it's the system will be na system masakunda mi kono bi ay system will create ka opportunity dila pour yela balamba ayiten no ilaftala nyaming and so forth even though do be je fon mi alon ko fon de because the permit is required ka fo manta permit of I don't even need a permit to go and do my protest. So we bajela police motor kono be video la be fenkela non don e arrest be dun the police motor nobody sees it so maybe be moli o be jela kayetende ko nsanyin kenole and then I will get away with it andung ku mota ku la lankang mi yalon ko amani luwa mantañol. But another aspect wala ñindi ko bi funding ke le more interest sort of in the governance system of their country more than ever before, because mul hanyata bi pour que participate in la governance ka say sort of in their governance system wala ñindi ko masa ko ndala tamandere ñato bi funding ke jamal bi je dia awaya dol bi je dia fahamro ke kaje ko akum ada ndala ñanto la ñindi pour nganda bulan na banko la tamandere ñañi kono so wala na nin dol bari wo protest ñum fana kafo warta ñaaw ñandi wo kafo ñu fanan ko ne bita dol tarra je fam do bi je fam wol mi ye sije anim mim fam mu protesto ñanda mankele biko dol bi je mimbe sila je wolom pour ka kuriya ko ke ngani protest dal do Westfield protest do soto nje mi yalan ko galaya protesting ke people were arrested suñaro ka molla mobile snatchable ka molla fengol sta ke suñebul so dol bi je ni nara wala ke sije dol bi je ni nara je ka the slightest opportunity wala ñandi ko ka wandi bitikol tay ay Lamin I was there min security man taje nim fe man taje bat ngamol dol jemi yalan ko itata ya atam pour ka wandi bitikol teno bari protest lal dol fon wol kono je wolle tata wil ka loje ko te ka ke stop bitiki do je there was a woman aba lori ngala supermarket o bunna rapa video taka mbe ngala hanin protest sol il faut ka funo ta ka pour ka video ta but this woman was standing at a supermarket bunna aba video ke ka they went and attack her there. What crime I will commit no at the time. So but min kata wala njida mol bi je mi yalanko the slightest opportunity that they looking for wala njida drunk ye dum wande bidi ko kono ye looten ke ye su ñarol kan so forth. So mol bi they genuinely they are there to express anger, frustration and everything. So iko okay because asekeno wo mari fo atamo fello man sakunda la tamande nyala bar modolo kay ko corruption o sembo wata nyum banko kan nyambaka nkata protest and power the person is with you. But like I said, there are a lot of factors. But anytime iketa until Mansakunda, we take stock of what are people talking about. Mulba mine foka. Ngamurum back to do, ka jube, and that's why Mansakunda can respond ke in terms of hold. And I think for Mansakunda, abuka akoleata nyawnyandi, pressure groups are very significant. They're very important. Abuka Mansakunda abuka lafi wala to be under any pressure, but now sort of the willingness to learn is what makes governments different. And for us, we have a government that is willing to rectify, that is willing to learn, that is willing to explain to the citizenry. Because don't be a minute findi kataka protest funke. Will mo fahamro funke issue shol. Will put will yajale ko ni ko Lamin case the corruptale. They have to come with a cutlass and cut my neck. Because don't be mulka foye nyaming. And mini alonko wolle ka foye ika foye fo nyalla mi alonko. It's not even true and it doesn't even exist because niende alechko nga nde corruptale because yaje nga mutu borani mi alonko ya filda na ko teng wala yaje ko nga bungolo wala nga fenko you ya aleko corruptale. I have to be subject to the processes to establish that I'm found wanting for corruption or anything. But do be coming ku ka fo nyaming aka asatina dosa mira ko asa hate soto or so forth.
All right, thank you so much. Wala mu presidential youth advisor te memu Lamin ke Saidy atele mu president wala yamar la nana fodin ke wala karola be panelist ol bulalale sainteng eni engage ye nyinin karol min sori be
bari wone ne stop la kanum fon la bu koy wala ga safaro gam la dama jale jabila
yemen soto ebe men fola nyinin karol min yalon koy bebo
no onte amanke kuma jamaati ngam folo nyindu ko Lamin na diamol kono ay alaka kamul filinde kuma ci ku jamal to ya jele ite faham yandila ye sonko ko do long ko me la you feel like will favor but when it comes to ko me alonko is against you, you're like my investigate. That is dishonesty and I don't expect that from Lamin because let's speak nakana na tonyafo bantanjang la alkal case kuoni. If Lamin is telling me I have less knowledge about that, come on. When we hear from the Alcalo himself, and this Bantan by-election and Kiam by-election was something Alonko was everywhere. So I did not do much investigation about that. So it's like
you are misquoting.
No, never misquote. No, you are Bantan na Alcalo la quoto.
Much knowledge.
And you want to abandon for that? No, because
Adonga be jabi.
No, ma jabi. You can come jamal. You will be jabi because they are. You feel like they are in favor of you. But these people, young people going to die at sea. Let me tell you something.
No, come on, buy.
I think the Hajila Kuel. I think Haji Haji is a critic. So you can come up and say Haji is a critic. But I go Bantangana Alcalco, you were like
Haji is a Facebook friend.
Okay, let's
I'm sorry, I'm interjecting. Sorry.
No, so let's move on. So when dishonestly, okay? And again, left Lamin Kukul understand. Ndolu has UDP. You understand? Afunga Bambandi Jan. Ako, Ablaya for Mutoyalti. The democracy Bambandi Kanjan. Allah kanyin kiti will be for Dara Kiti Bunko. Na kiti okay. But we always try to call. But Yajal Armadum Besona Kukulinala. Niko rule of law. It doesn't mean it is the same board. You keep breaking the law. You are telling me go to the law. And when you meet a diamond of Fanang, those people are people appointed by you. A calf with a diamond. It's a little Franta. Don't call you. But I can get no, I never for them go Gaye. But the diamond for you to call. Menyanta, Nabarawala. Menyanta. Menyanta will to call eco democracy. And you emphasize a lot here on this Masakundae freedom on democracy. You emphasize a lot. You speak about a lot here about that. But you can remember for decent democracy, when you are defaulted, you must accept you are defaulted. Because Alcalo Tako intimidate. And again, the governor Lokumo Fokanjang, it's time to say the police commissioner was just there for only less than 3 months. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. What we are saying, election, there's a cooling period. And then one thing is very clear here. We heard from the president. President wale afuda ko alkalo be asube dunna be campaign yokala. Ako sefol be asube dunna be campaign yokala. Ako even minister, even justice minister for be asube. But justice minister ataduna. No, I'm just imagine. No, alkalo be for the sign is now he can talk me about justice minister. Oh, the first look moment. Ako even justice minister. Ako for be asube dunna. But mina justice minister ataduna. So no, I'm sorry, Mr. Joe. I think this is the conversation that we want. No. I'm sorry, this is the conversation that we want. I love the debate. I'm just Alcalo. Alcalo not asubidun. No, I'm just Alcalo not asubidun about matter rule of law. No, rule of law. You talking about rule of law. What is your knowledge about rule of law? What I'm telling you, what is the duty of Alcalo? You tell no. You are asking me now things. Now I am asking you, what is the duty of an alcalo? You don't know. No, I'm just asking you now. Because alcalos are independent people. Many alonko, they are in the village. Kajago katiling molbe tema. Kasatola development kulu, ani satola nema kulu, satola kuma satola tamandinya. So the alcalo present support at Tiliola Saturday. No, alcalo present support at alcalo mu banku duro ndaga kukili lombi alcalo banku duro ila do president baro lota ndaka men fo jang wallahi ila mo ngam men fo jang ni ala temu ko afel 2020 ali alcalo training gal fa ni sita bal bondale president baro ali sefo training gal ni sita bal bondale ila mo president baro jang president si alka mo training bal bondale ya ndana lo platform anka dana banna alma be ni 2020 wala alcalo training ali alcalo training alcalo me ya long so sabat bil alcalo ya man sakundari go alkalo be bulo tigal go ika fa mal bondila kemo nan sida mal bonla min ñew sida billahi wallahi taala min ñil sida alkalo mi yalla ko menede president baro la ba ci ko ibe bay do because image almamo sida president baro mi tin dare du wake de ibe bay la na ci ko image e kam men fo molé lafta ko ñendi be lafta ñendi be won de sama so gadam do fo ñindi ko gadam do me kan claat bi wala ñindi ko ngaay ko because Lamin ay loi ko mo fa jam bakel de ako to lamma sakunda dem ba mi bakere ngabe fa ya so ngaay ko fo sefo ñanda ka asumi dina ba ay campagne ko abaduna ba campagne kel woni ne ba dul ke training ka woni ci bal bal ne sax sinu ina ma ñu de kele la bam ako ha sonta akanya de kele atlaf sefo fa ko ayanda kele ina ko mom gouverneur kayanda kele wayna yele di avocat ndako di ka fa ba be fo ko de kele so Lamin kam men fo da wala ñindi ko wolu man la kela okay ne asara tonya to left a fair play la and you were right you people are part of the interparty committee yes in fact atolem di cap the Basse,
because we are the government.
Basse la Fonkoni, Basse la MP, with the care.
Because we are the party in government.
MP, because we are the party in government. You understand? And then I know, and again, the party play a lot of roles to make sure that the inter-party committees stay. Even some financial issues, yes, we heard about it. I heard from the guy here. And one must give that credit to them.
Thank you.
One must give that credit. But this attestation cool. The attestation cool be. And again, I couldn't look at
what about the attestation?
No, yeah, attestation cool. What about the attestation? No, you give me time. No. Okay. I was with the president in 2016. I know the promise we gave to the Gambians in 2016. Into President Barrow, the Banco be Yale, Lamin Yalo. President Barrow mentioned the whole new Alcalo allowed Dabun the campaign. That was the message from the campaign for B. In 2016, when we were campaigning with the president, Alcalo means allowed Dabundi, allowed Dabundi political corner, allowed the politician. President Barrow campaign, these are audios, videos. So that campaign, left out Gambia, these people, these independent people, the Sabatla, make sure you're independent doko ninke. No President Barrow be campaign. Signing B, because the not a man say all sign. This means these people, when we came to government, the governor settler, the governor Tadoko, we make sure we are nyaming. Now, make sure you are nyaming, ya yelele, Muya apply, your governor ya dealer, based on their academic qualifications. Currently, the Masakunda. And the Masakuna water men fanang. The same thing on the alcalos and the CFOs. We make sure they do. You make sure alcalo you buy. No, when they were in government, the number of name them. No, name them. You cannot just be here. Go. One day, name them. I Sabasan Jal Sefuko, it all when MPP comes. So government for you go. Near confidence and I have to respect that. Ako the developments they government. That is something also they have to campaign. That's quite true. To Yalam. Because Masakunda alone wanted to deliver to the people. You can use those things and campaign people. But anything is a more slandila, Kakamon sland, a symbol table, woman now. Lamin Almania no killer. And a leader of so that we can have a clean politics. Move on. Just never know about the youth issue. Lamin, you are somebody may along, and I keep saying that any platform go. A funding or Lacano, and even national zone. Akakarabat. Yakanu, Imakanu, funding or Lacano, funding moment, what? Lamin said Ibajala. Inado. But Bagu ko ule me alonko as a Bible yano. But ferem mo masakunda kafe ko me bagu stop la ferem. I feel like masakunda nyang keneni. Based on recent soul me alonko Lamin for some of the recent soul for. There were peer influence do katarajele. But governments also lack the commitment. And we must also accept that. Government lack commitment. If government can take people from here to go to Spain for a level job, government take people from here to go to Saudi Arabia for a level job, what kind of job can I work in Spain? Can the government create such kind of jobs here? The amount of money they're paying them in Spain, can the government create such kind of job here and pay them with such amount of money? What government will kill no? Because it can for them to put la Franco. Put la Franco. Banco make I cannot do call a Banco Menkaji, or Banco ni, ye men fiji, men do kuji, fonto legam to do no jamba. What is the commitment of this government towards that? How many grant lenata jang, million jelly in Banco can jang? May I long for youth empowerment? Can national bunda support? Million jelly in Banco can jang. But those million workshop. It's a malbet la new tema. But how many times we've seen the president stand before the women and give checks? Tell me, you Because the thing is, they don't have a proper policy. They don't have a proper plan. You put it on somewhere where you can create a better job for the youths. Some of the youths, they go and work as sailors. What can the government do to make sure we empower the youths? We also pay them here. Because what is the thing is, it goes to the world market. Did they cease us to the production? We take them to the world market. The economy, can't we also do the same thing? Why can't this government do that? Why should I leave my country when I know very well the amount of money I will pay in Spain, I can be paid with just such amount of money here. Spain. And I know the economy, the growth of economy in Barcelona, if I go and apply for a visa with a very good saving account, they are going to give me a visa. Will I risk my life to get into the boat? But the problem is, the government we have is not committed. Oh, what this government needs, we creating jobs. What jobs are you creating? All the promise the president make fails. All the promise this government is making, it all fails. I can count the promises, therefore those promises all fail. Let's talk about the ferry issue. We heard from the Minister of Works, I never know the ferry is going to be here before December or in December. We are in what? Did they give us any update?
No, December has never been said.
That's the Minister Mayor for.
No.
And the video is there. If you can play the video if you want later, no problem. But that's what the Minister my own brother. My own brother. I remember Ako. The new ferries already in the Multara. The ferries are but what I'm telling you, we are not going to, we've not going to buy a ferry. We are building a ferry. But the ferry is going to be here well before December or in December. I am telling you, today we are in almost 19 or December. The date today. If there is any transparency about the ferry procurement, this is the one. We expect a proper government, a responsible government. You always update the people if you tell them anything. You update them, you go back to them. And you can remember from these were promises of the president. The president will promise already.
Okay.
This is the promise of the president. It fails in 2016 when we are campaign. I am ready funding to give work to the youth. I funding to I hammer the economy not hambal Marco Lembelo Alfe. You wait how many years? After 9 years, you start employing some youths to funding to because election you want the people to see. You are now embracing the youth.
Right.
Where were you in the past 8 years? Where were those youths?
Thank you.
Why you did not give them opportunity to serve in your government, but you just want to baffle them to vote for you in the election?
You can come
it's
in.
Not going.
I have seen you jotting down some key.
What can I see now?
You can come. What to move this? But that much you can.
Okay. Okay, I have a problem. I guess I can now put my shades down.
How can you hijack my seat from me?
It was relevant for me at some point in time. It was. But okay, on a very serious note, right? Election. Be digging by your analysis. I'm digging at your analysis again from my start. What actually? Why this is something lima jangat see affair election be from the two camps. And lima ci dega tamit, there is no way win munutona am on the NPP side, and there is no way a loss munutona am on the UDP side. Because lima fi dega, okay, the NPP were really focused and put their eyes on the ball. And what they were doing is talking to the people that really mattered to vote, right? And therefore, the results really showed they have done the work that needs to be done. Again, I don't know about the intimidation. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen evidence of it. It's a matter it's being talked about. I've seen writings in regards to that. But I have not seen any evidence of that. But now, nothing else. So, key explain is like, okay, lol guy focus to definitely lolo mota winning. But so did lo buy a wahambi. Understand? It was more focused on top and England, Hamna Linyo there, swing intelligent, swing li. So basically we focus more on trivialities instead of engaging the people, the voters that have the voters card to vote for them to get the win. So I sit here saying, okay, definitely then you again put win bi. Why is definitely it would have been a huge surprise for you win because of you did not do the work to win. Because Ligen focus. No, win. You understand?
What did we
No, so and I wanted to really highlight that. And again,
what did you
the lessons to learn, understand that you focus, put your eyes on the ball, do the work that is going to bring you bring the win, and that is the citizenry, the voters. This thing of Alkali Bek, Commissioner Bek, Pullman is a distraction. Our vote election processes is not clean. Lolo, and it's across the board. Kepa then they way and above. This campaign close na, cooling off la, resting off la, eating time la. Everybody use it that time, whether you're supposed to use it or not use it. Is it right? Absolutely not. But it is done. Everybody does it. So that should not be an excuse. And to be honest, every time there is an excuse of why I did not get what I want to get, and you blame everybody else but yourself, it's a trend where it's not yielding results, and it will never yield result until you stop it and adopt another strategy and own up. Now, let me move on from that. We know Sototale, we know Mambai, Cole Dutale. We'll move on to another election. Another important point, Saidy, you've talked about the backway thing, and you were very, very careful. You were measured. You were very calculative in your deliberation. But one thing also we need to highlight, Monekane. Yes, I agree with so many things that you said. Dina bëgg dugg ci xel nit ki pour wax ne ban metit nga nekk di dunda ba tax nga enu sa doom bu ndaw ak sa jëkkër o sa jabar o jëkkër jabar ngeen dugg ci gaal bi ngeen den waaye li olof di wax rek lim saf ka ko macca ko xam ñoom dañ mënoo toog fi rek pour try to xalaat dugg seen xel yi pour xalaat waaye ñu def loolu parce que nekkuñ ci seen situation dunduñ li ñoo dunda understand nga li ñoo jànkuwante ñun jànkuwante ko moo taxit sa ñuy dem di naan lu tax mu def ko parce que suñ nekkoon ci moom situation am xëy na ñun dinañ ko doon def earlier than ñoom time biñ ko defee so loolu tam war nañ ko di consider ñu nangul leen ko waaye tamit soo ko seetee ndaw yi dëgg la man dama dee am dama dee see a contradiction this secular migration bi right what difference does it have with this back way apart from ne it's dangerous because there are no measures taken, you know, in terms of going to the back way. They are organized and put together and taken away.
And they are short of job.
Huh?
They are short of job when they arrive there.
Okay, they are short of job when they arrive there. But then again, when you say they are short of job, but then there was no security put in place because where are they? 39, 33 have absconded. So where is that assurance and security and coordination and cooperation there?
That was the lesson, actually. I agree with it entirely.
Exactly.
In terms of the difference there, I'm sorry to the difference was that these people is very unorganized, very dangerous. This other one is a well-organized team. The conditions have been discussed and agreed on, and that once they are there, the employment is assured, and after the employment, what follows is there. But probably at the time, you know, the thoughts have not been around. Because environment won't create. But that goes to tell you how how it's difficult to manage migration.
Because it's very difficult, mom. Lolo mom can munu ko gene. Why do not try to wax moy understand that? Instead of me def the blame game, let's look for ways and means to minimize it. Sure. Because again, Saidy, man so make ne mangi judo ci ndol. Suma papa hena civil servant la won liggéey na ben 30 years, 40 years and yet still bala man may judo mu ngi liggéey. Why yet still dama judo be tollu 30, 25, 30 ñu ngi di ci rental house. Suma ye papa liggéey bi mu liggéey government 30 years gisuma dara lu ko jural da nga gis ne man mën naa am yaakaar ne war naa fee mun a toog man liggéey ma doon suma papa ma doon suma papa parce que tekki na ci dëkk bii nii musuta tukki musta dem fenn waaye su dee loolu amut yow di nga xalaat ne hey man mënumaa doon suma baay parce que 30 years mu ngi ko liggéey 40 years mu ngi ko liggéey waaye ba tey ñu ngi ndóol lañ doon lekk ceeñu te times are harder so yow di nga try pour seet naka ngaa mën a wéccee understand nga cause boobu noonu instead of toog si dëkk bi fii nii parce que oo na la ne sa family is the closest to you te ñoom seen toog si dëkk fii nii tekkiwuñ juróolu leen dara loo xam ne wàññi na métti si ñun so di nga try pour ut leneen so loolu yëpp daf dee nekk factors understand nga boo xam ne di nga gis ne man suma ay baay fii lañ toog yaroo fi juddoo fi def fi nekka waaye dëkk bi provide du leen loolu na ba nga xam ne ñoom mën nañoo wax ne bul dem nga toog fii gis nga dëkk bi fii nii su nekkoon ne dañ doon dox on gold dust sax people will still want to explore other places to see whether it's still better than gold dust loolu mënuñ ko fay génnee waaye tamit man li maa wax mooy youth si dañ war a am options dañ really war a am options ba xam ne buy war a tax ñu toog ou ñu choose pour dem te ku dem sa di nga feel ne you know what fa ma jógee moo tane in the absence of that to be honest dañu continuer di gis yi nii parce que nekkut ne kumpaleen nene maa dem le we've all seen videos of people deep in sea li ñoo struggle li ñoo jànkuwanteel gaal bi koppu waaye yet still people will still want to go and yaakaar bi mooy ne moom koppu na o nekkut ko waaye am na ñoo xam ne make nañ ko te tey ñu ngi make a lot of difference dëkk bi fii nii ñu ngi make a lot of changes ñu ngi faj gàcce yu bëri ñu ngi famparongoñ yu bëri so yaakaar googu noonu ak gom-gom boobu mooy tax ñu fàtte métti gi ñu gis ñu still dem so to be honest continue waaye yow as sa position you understand a lot needs to be done I don't know what is being done but so much needs to be done and not blame I saw people sit in the media you know waa seen yaay yi ñoo leen dee wecci xaalis jox leen ko ñooy jaay seen nag yi ñooy jaay seen lii ay yooyu noonu yow soo doon dunda situation bi ñooñu di dunda waxuma la nag rek de understand nga waaye seen yére yi sax ak seen yére yi dinañ ko jaay pour jox la ko pour nga dem nga tekki te ñuy wax loolu noonu boo gisee tey ñoom ñu am liñ am ameewuñ ko si dëkk bi dañ génna understand nga bitim bi lañ amee liñ am ba mun a xëj fii tey am position am a place dafa am ku ma la bëggoon a lifin tuuti rek mooy am na benn Mr. Job, I'm saying so that when we conclude and we are just save with time. Yes. Let's say, for example, because there's a conversation, and definitely I'm not sitting here to cast blame on anybody because, like I said, it's a complex issue. But let's say, for example, sometimes also so nekk is a real. am na liggéey yoo xam ne dañ koo xeeb soo demee feneen nga bëgg a koo def foofu noonu. The reality is that when suñ ne fii liggéey amut fii I always tell people that that's not true because ban façon liggéey la ñu ut because am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi jógee ko from bëgguma tudda dëkk waaye ñu ngi jógee ko from yeneen dëkk ñuy ñëw fii di jaay guru ak bitakoola ñu see mun a tekki right xëy na man mi nekk an indigent of this country dama wax ne man du ma def loolu noonu am na ñu nga xam ne fii ñu ngi raxas ñu ngi ñëw fii di raxas bool ak yooyu noonu ñu ngi mën a jógee fii dem si seen dëkkay delluwaat back to there waaye xëy na yow doo bëgg a def loolu noonu understand let's say soo seetee this facilities nga xam ne projects nga xam ne government mu ngi ko execute Johnson bu nekk next to Kadi the other one that goes into Bijilo bu gaay doon defar pavement si they were paying per meter understand foofu laa di talk ak suma boys yi so these Sierra Leoneans 99% of the people that were working on that road they're Sierra Leoneans. They're coming from Sierra Leone because they knew there is a lot of road construction in this company. They're coming here to get job. Now, but look, for example, Pikas, they gas and they were paying you per meter. When this guy calculated to me how much they paid him per week all the way to the month, it's substantial amount of money. All right, but Gambian would not want to do that because there are a lot of things you can consider. Maybe for a maybe come that with what largest come ngay def façon I'm just citing an example just an example without disrespect to anybody léegi nga dem si we went to Brikama the USAID facility USAID center bi it's a massive infrastructural project buñ àggee foofu noonu we have a lineup of group of young people it's a straight line pour ñu mën a nuyuwante président bi bu mu accès so I was so excited when I disembarked from the car. And I was like to the Minister of Education, Higher Education. Manako bro bimo ndam degala sundaw. So I was calculating that all these are young people in Hana Yuge Lige fee.
Yep. So bu ma lifee ne ma ne ko bii moom président su ñëwee foofu ñu wan ko mu ne ma mind you mu ne ma 99.9% of all these people are Sierra Leoneans.
Thank you so much.
Working in this country. So I'm just telling you.
But I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But then again, now would you do the reverse? Those people will saying they can def ko fofu nono. Because again, the same reasons might be the reason why toguñ fofu ñu def ko. And therefore,
is the argument to say liggéey am na waaye ban façon liggéey la ak kan moo ko def. That's my point. Why pour talk to say blatantly duma defen liggéey amut. It's not true.
Ablaye, you got
di ngeen tey wax bi dinañ ko jeexal di ngeen tey waaye li ma wax mooy is the reverse also man su ma la waxee ne comme in America liggéey naa in a restaurant busting tables but I've never done it here.
Thank you.
You understand? I've never done it here. Of course, I earn a lot of money there. But situation going to school, before I'm kid, I'm not allow and things like that. So this migration thing, but it has to be regulated, it has to be organized, it has to be coordinated, and people want to know, okay, to be honest, Gambia, I mean, Kesedi, we have a lot to do, a lot of work to do to make sure Lee mitigate nenko. In this, I mean, it's painful.
What
now
did this government do to bring MRs here? They did that. What effort did they do to make sure?
Let me talk about quickly before I wrap up. Let me quickly.
I'm asking you, what do you do to mitigate this?
Your party leader was the foreign minister.
But I am asking you.
Proceed, please.
I am asking you now. Maybe it is not in your government today, right? I am asking the government is you.
But can you allow me to finish, please? Can you allow me to finish?
No. Can any government impose on any foreign embassy to come and operate in their country? You see, embassy. You lobby. No, I agree with you. You lobby, but let me tell you. Just like the guy, listen, you asked me a question. I am saying, listen, Gambia, Cabinet Gambia proposed for embassy so you Banco Jamalka. A lot of you people complain. And why we want to open those embassies is the strategic nature of those embassies. Now, if you are asking a foreign country to open an embassy in your country, no matter what lobbying you do, the person is looking at the strategic nature of your country. I two staff from deploying into your country. There are all these factors that they look at. So just to say, I'm not getting to desire. Listen, I'm not getting to desire. But those factors also.
Second day, there is no place here where government can go there. Second room there. At least if you cannot, Gambia have
Schengen countries, EU.
Gambia have embassy in
Schengen countries.
Oh, okay.
Gambia have embassy in Spain. Gambia have embassy in Brussels, right? Gambia have embassy in places also in the European countries. But sir, tell me this European country so if it ever done to visa and you know the jam, you understand? Therefore, you do all the process in this country.
Okay, Nene,
Okay. The protest issue, that also is something that is close to my heart, right? When people talk about the environment has been created, that's why people are protest. People have been protesting, but yes, at a time, Lenin Chodan Faker, you understand, more genona make the content. You understand? Why protest mungdon am?
No, I have emphasized on the scale.
Wow, protest mungdon am. Why lumadu buga rek you understand that this administration more create the environment. No, people ñoo jox sen bopa fierté bu ñoo understand sen rights, understand this, and ñoo fight the democracy. It's not like government ñoo len because again the same government be ñoo claim ne more create the environment. It's the same government that arrest them. It's the same government that will detain them. It's the same government that will prosecute them. Right now,
prosecute, right?
Prosecute.
Because there is a law that says you don't do this A and B, Nene.
And I'm not disputing that. I agree on that. But I'm telling you, it's the same government because if the government creates the environment, you wouldn't arrest them. No. You wouldn't detain them. You wouldn't prosecute them. But then the same government arrests and detain
because there are regulatory measures. because there are regulatory measures. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, man. I'm calling you.
No, it's okay.
There are regulatory. There are protest environment is taken, but there are regulatory measures.
KCD, when we were fighting before 2016 and 2016, we all, you and I and everybody else, never agreed that there is a law and there are
said we were not there.
No, you were there.
No, he said we were there.
We all fought it. We all said it is a bad law. It is a bad law. Point blank. Period. No ifs, no buts.
You know what it matters.
No, so man, I'm problem right now. Right now, so we are all onto the law. Man, I find that to be dishonesty. Understand? And that's not right. Okay. So for no even one because at the end of the day, ni protest. Li ñoo protest suma njëriñ la sa njëriñ la njëriñ everybody la it's not like seen boppa yes ñeneen dañ ci dem bëggoo seen own personal interest pour boss pour relevance and the pathway to get something else we have seen it right but certain people they're very very genuine
and I acknowledge that.
They're super genuine now lastly there are certain issues in this country when we talk about it madam I feel some people should just keep quiet because man mënuma support dara démba tey because of Favouruma may advocate strongly for it you understand consistency man dama feel ne and respectfully so when we talk léegi man dama dee feel ne sax I am being so hard on President Barrow because su nekkee ne liñ doon xeex ñun ñëpp understand nga léegi ñu ñëw into government and then we give terms of that happening now you have specifically the UDP disregarding those things and not acknowledging that those things could lead us to where we are today but now you're the strongest advocate of the same thing. I ask myself, are we not in the same Gambia? Is it not the same people that we are dealing with? And I have a problem with it.
Inconsistency is about you people. When you're talking about inconsistency,
people are talking about country, government, country, and you're talking about
individuals.
Yeah, so for the purpose of the country's development and the fact that Mr. Saidy, brother, you can, for the issue of the Bantanjang, the governor can say whatever he's saying. The truth is, it was politics.
Okay.
And we think we can rectify that. Again,
I think it has been rectified, I believe.
Yes, but still you are insisting it was not political. But the reality is political. That is the truth. We know what is going there.
Okay.
And also, you can talk to him at a personal level. He has many, including mine, land issues that the SO4s are not really deliberately to solve. You cannot go to a district tribunal. Judgment is given. 9 years. In fact, the guy who gave the judgment is a family member of the same family that is now requesting that they own that land. The SO4 who gave the judgment is the brother, biological brother of the same family. The judgment is there. It comes to say it's an MOU. Letters are written. IGP copied, Minister Business copied. A lot of those files are there. You are not attending to those. But Alcalde, that one you will go and take. So there are a lot of things that are happening there that are bad. What he is saying is not true.
On this one also.
On this one, yes, we can
also have bilateral, certainly. So
yes,
more information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things. You
don't do bilateral, do multilateral. Don't trust them. Do multilateral, not bi. Can you trust them?
Actually, I don't know what you mean by bilateral. My understanding is when we talk to him,
that's
a picture of
exactly. That's what I meant. Yeah.
So the back way of migration, the truth is, government created this problem to an extent. The policies they have effect. Back way then, the type of canoes or ships or whatever you want to use, and the type now, genuinely, those that engage in trade with are different.
Yeah, that's
Meaning, most of these people who are doing fishing is no more fishing for them. No more fishing for them. Because if they used to go 2-3 days, they catch big fish and come and make a lot of sales. Now it will take them weeks. And in fact, the Chinese and other people will even carry their nets and everything.
The big trolley.
So now, what is fishing for them, meaning what is gainful for them here is, they go do bad way. Quick money. Exactly.
But do you know the good number of them, those that own these canoes there, are not even Gambians? Go to the fishing land.
I'm coming. I agree. But I'm telling you, people are able to go to Fonyi because there is means of transport.
Yes.
Now let's assume you are having a delegation. I can hold the chicken. But some passage you go to maybe even contraband, goods that are not whatever. You go and do that. So the policy and your EU, China, and whatever, Senegal, fishing, whatever, is also playing a part. Because these people who are supposed to do fishing are not doing fishing now, the normal fish, they are fishing our youth. Because that is what is giving them money. So you see, this sort also, look at your policy. And you realize that, in fact, these were not the type of seeds or whatever that people were using. But the sign, people can use, let me take a new, but it can use no sign. You come to the Secunda Lansino, the Mula Melialo, will listen most of it all. So you can fit, Ilabadem or Coleatable. So you can really use. That is one aspect. Maybe you are not checking that aspect, but I can tell you that is also contributing.
It's not it.
Yes. And the issue of jobs. You see, there are jobs. That's true. Well, why wouldn't a farmer leave farming to come into politics to become agriculture minister? When me, the farmer, they are agriculture minister in the country, so have more money than him. Atekana. Somebody, okay, they don't own a bicycle. We all know our communities. Most of these people that are producing, even a bicycle, they cannot maintain. You come to politics in 2 years, you are building. You want me to stay in the line of carpentry where I'm not getting government contract. I will not stay. I also come to politics.
Yes.
Then we put it in there. Even if we are going to die, we are going to die. No problem. That is the situation. So, local content. I want you to promote that for our Ghana.
Local content.
Because what happens is this. Government, I always say, make this a deliberate policy of government. We want to make sure every year, at least 20 youths, we want to make them millionaires. These are not empty youths. These are referring to DTTI, the aluminum and fabrication. Imagine, environment ministry or whatever that they have here at Abuko. If they have given the contract of windows, they say, okay, this will be 12 million all. They sell it to 6 Gambians. Those are amazing, they go to that way. They know that next time, another opportunity will also come. Every construction is, Gigo for example, is this guy, CEO, Gachi. And I'm here, I can do the same, but I don't even get government contract. In case that will not make me go to Bali. I have the opportunity to travel, me personally. But I don't go because that is my personal day when I can make it here. But imagine, what will boost that if, for example, government say, okay, enough here, let's give Bojan for training. It doesn't support us, but he qualifies to train retirees because they don't know much about money. So before they retire in 2 years,
financial,
let's give Bojan because that is an area that he understands to train. You think I'll leave my school and go? I don't. But I will stay here. Next minute, I see somebody who can even have a proper letter. He's in politics, he's driving, he's building, he's taking the motor to market.
Okay.
He's in ministry. And he think me, yes, that is good, but that job cannot make me what I want to be. It cannot even sustain me. So I'll go to where I hope I can. Let's also introspect the foreigners that are coming. I don't hate foreigners. No. What I'm trying to say is, what are we getting from these foreigners? We are thinking about what they are getting from the government. Fine. But what are we getting from them?
They are paying tax.
Okay. And?
Yeah, well, they are paying tax. One thing, I'm just...
Okay, now...
That is if it's a structured job. Because there are so many...
Most of these people are
Gambian jobs are such that if, for example, Bojang, you own a construction company and you employ laborers, you're supposed to pay, and you pay them money.
Withhold tax.
You pay withholding tax.
How many people are doing that?
No, we are doing everything humanitarian.
I understand. It's not argument. We are trying to say.
And the reason why I'm taking note is when people make sense and or they make argument that you think are implemented, you take note. Definitely.
So I am encouraging, even if we are doing that, let's see how we do that more.
Okay.
Because the argument is okay, they are paying tax, fine and good. But there are also a lot of things that they are doing which are hampering our society. Cultural security is part of national security. We are losing our culture as a country. In fact, the way our kids dress now, if you know, this is not Gambia. Because of people that are coming with different certain type of whatever and so on. So even if we are paying tax, let that to how we are losing our culture. Tax is nothing at the end of the day then. So these are all things that we should look at. And what other things could we bring to make sure we get that from foreigners to add positively? So what parameters are you going to put? Because if you come to just a laborer from Freetown, for example, there should be a system that will encourage engineers more than laborers, because we need more and we benefit more from the engineers than ordinary laborers. And if they are paying or sending their money back, how are we getting something from it apart from the business that I get? How are I getting? All this should be looked into, because the two halves, even our people, the money that they are sending, they are taking something from there.
All right.
And they control.
All right. Thank you so much.
So these things okay, not my yes. I understand that. Yes.
Mengla draw wala pour ka kesi di bula yela kumala mo fo nyim programme mi alon ko zabo wato bantale frère. What are your final words for today?
Abaraka bake along bayrim wato nyim fongol la ngala, what I will be fair enough to say pour ka sutiyande wala ka la doku nyol tentu bake ka technicien wol fananta ke tentu bake bayri ñi nga jala ko manke ño sabakuti banku ku kacalam do bi ja so fota tembo do to kunun kuol ketano nyame ani biya keta nyame nal fota do tembo do bi fo ño sabo sa asembo sa waraje
barka mo talibu ko amanke ño korondo ti ño kacando la ño kacando
so ngana ño korende andu na diata len tel mi fana do ko la man secondaire ta korla pour kana ka futa ka si bengol to molien scrutinize bayri ni bi to nyalam baye mi fo walam ndala dokuram moto man sakundara ka deda na tinyata man sakundara ka fuel and man sakundara ka jo salary la ngam fan na fa wol ngana dimbal na fa wol woto nimbi wo mol na ta pour ni wol ye kacha min yalla ko wolela na moy kete jo wol woto nyanda kanal no ye danko wala pour ni ye kacha woto mbam na man sakundara dogulal be ya marla ka ko bonde ko ngana danku banku ding wala ni en kumande ni si ni ba kol bonya ko dol bi mi yalla ko ka fo banda apuka ketto nyati apuka senia mol ma mol buka famba ni na resita programme ol isa senendi no ya bondi no nyoro on bal tentu la bake mbal jayla ba falale mba willing we are more than willing to be coming to the program.
Thank you so much.
Please key pour aya for president baroko mbaba to kan hanin kabi sangi saba hanin kabi mang Bantaba so we are sending you also to remind him that we are open and waiting on that.
All right. Thank you so much. Wato bandale medana jene drunk KCD tentu bake ka jay na panalisol nene bayo aning Dr. Bojang kebe tentu bake ke jay nim frara jandron mba fulala ala baraka bake atul men yalon ko ali alla wato ta Gambia fo Gambia bantala pour ka ker fatu jube nyen tembe na anin di grand Bantaba programme ker finder aning APS wolle bulo do nyim programme ko to ka sembentu yandi ka fasa nim frara jandron mba fulale bye almasuto to diala wassalam.
Welcome to Care Madam Sanya, Borom, Sweden. This is another Care Finder masterpiece. Let me take you through it. The first thing that really blew my mind about this house is the crafted seating area just around the car garage. Amazing. And the door is soundproof and transparent. I can't wait to see the rest of it. And now we inside. Look at the living room and how spacious it is. Care Finder, y'all always outdoing yourself. And we now at the kitchen area, and you can see me doing my flexibilities and the drawers are so spacious, and then they have a gas cooker. What else to see? Let's go. Now we in the guest room. Look at how big this guest room is. Super big and nicely decorated. And they have a guest bathroom as well. Man, I can't wait to see the master bedroom. Okay, here we go. We in the master bedroom. Look at how big and spacious this is. And look at how big and spacious the master bathroom is as well. Care Finder, man, you guys are always doing it right. And now let me take you outside a little bit. Let me check my swagger up in this. You can tell I'm killing it on the runway. So now let me take you at the back. They have a swimming pool. My God, look at how spacious this swimming pool is. I can't wait to really jump inside, to be honest. And they have a Bantaba sitting area as well, so you can just chill and have a good time with family and friends. And then they have swings for children or couples. this is the right spot. Trust me. And this house is just next to Kir Madam Seka. Up your sleeves for our next gated community. What is this gated community gonna look like? Because Kid Finder, they always coming up with this special, amazing stuff that we don't even think about. So I really cannot wait for it. So in case you're interested, you can just call 4172215 for more information. And disclaimer, this property is not for sale, has an owner and not open for viewing. Kid Finder is here for you.
Nyatimbo ntemu APS leti. Ndemu APS leti. APS Gambia le mu APS di. Katun APS is 100% Gambian.
Bari nyatimbo ete ku furi mbala kentala di. Ke nyatimbo ntari taba futu wola. At least ya fonte ko APS min kullo balbiji. Imo fon fonya fon ka fonyo ko ibina do ibodo ko APS jam fane mo fana fonya nyatimbo. Yo min fo yenda sija. Ndanga moyro ko APS wallet isa ko do kinu min tata fa wuli muan ime charge fenna wala nta sindi jang
ako nyatimbo nkoy ko kabo transito kata wala fa wuli muan ite fenne dola womu zero file bitun kabo wo 20,000 la ka sele sal eke tamuna eke charge mun fa abuka fensi 1% da malam mati
wota yara gamen no be nyanta wala kana APS wala tele mobile ko ko do ki ibadi ngol
yajale ni APS kabrin nan credit ko to bari min kum mayata be wala fa mo kas pawat ni suto be during suto be dibini abe tema biti kol sonda ila APS mobile lo sika ni asika to ya safe da men ko fen ko atondi nawek ha ni oto jeje nyamen do tachi ama ni ama do abanta ila kas pawa isa hawasima ajibe free joriti je
otambade ngameno albesito wulle fisiyata alna leta APS wallet yela lambaylo kon APS wallet nyaako doro barin koto nim fata do suko kon to
ni be fono le mol nyaala jam nim fata do suko kon mbafole
basiti jembita ndori gi sajede kadu sa APS 100% namundi
APS 100%
APS
Gambia 100%.
Looking for the perfect home away from home in the Gambia? Welcome to BC's Residence, your ideal short-stay apartment in the heart of Bundung. Whether you're visiting for business, pleasure, or an extended stay, BC's Residence offers you the comfort, convenience, and privacy you deserve. Enjoy spacious, well-appointed accommodations in a peaceful neighborhood just behind Nusrat High School. Our residence combines modern amenities with authentic Gambian hospitality, ensuring your stay is both comfortable and memorable. At BC's Residence, you are not just booking a room, you're finding your perfect base to explore all that the Gambia has to offer. Ready to book your stay? Contact us today. +220-941414. BC's Residence at gmail.com. BC's Residence, Bundung, behind Nusrat High School. Your comfort is our priority.